The talk turns to the cultivation world, to a demon disaster in Jiangnak of Chengju, where a demon tried to kill the emperor and failed. The furious emperor now hunts the matter, some families already wiped out. I know Li Hiondo hides the ninth of the soul transformation realm, so I do not worry at all but listen with relish. The rebels run to dawn, and when the sun rises, Yop Ran and Jin Goem leave. I do not go at once but slip into the 8 sceneries grotto heaven to feed the vast sky dragon. Under the azure vine tree it swims round me glad. Near 2 feet now, its horns fully grown. A true dragon in look, black scales cold with light. Master, when will you take me out? It asks, rubbing its face on mine. When you are fully grown, I laugh, rubbing its head. Many outside will eye your meat as you eye mutton. How big is big, it says. Aggrieved, I feel strong already, master. You might be no match for me. I have practiced sword under the tree without showing my strength, so even the dragon does not know my depth. This cannot go on, I decide, and say I will find a way, meaning to ask Gang Yong for a transformation art to turn the dragon into a snake so it may travel with me. The dragon cheers at that. An hour on I leave, for a familiar aura nears the Medicine Valley, and I return to the pavilion and pretend to read. Soon a figure vaults through the window, his voice before his feet touch down, asking me to guess what treasure he has brought. It is Li Ai in green, mended and whole. What treasure could be worth more than my windowsill, I say, and he sets a pouch on the table with a smug grin. I sweep it with my sense and frown. Why are there bugs? A primordial gold-eating insect, he laughs, whose teeth bite through every metal and ore, and feed them metal chi and they grow stronger. 16 in all with 1 queen, fine for guarding a house and even digging holes. I am interested at once and ask how to bind them. A drop of blood essence to the queen forms the soul tie, he says, and hands me a thin secret manual. I take it and ask first how the assembly went. Not smooth, he sighs, dropping into a chair, but an eye-opener, for the world is thick with experts and geniuses like carp crossing a river. His own gifts are nothing there, barely into the top 100, with even Zhu Dongyu only top 10. His easy face eases my worry a little, and I pour wine and listen as he tells it, till by dusk he has more to say. So only our third young miss could press no Sion, I muse. Perkeelan's step is fearsome, the only one to wound him. He nods, but 9 steps in she met a heavenly tribulation and had to break off, and he did not see her again. A heavenly tribulation, I say, surprised, for I have taken countless steps these 2 years and met none. Who knows? He shrugs. Perhaps she hides some secret. The innate Tao rune. I sigh inwardly, wondering if this is what cheating looks like. Past Gi So Yu, no Sion shook me most. Li Ah says, high-spirited, and he is my next mark. I will challenge and beat him one day. You said he broke your limbs? I ask. Do you not hate him? It was a fair spar, he shakes his head. Why hate him? And I would not concede at the time. A senior told me he is a pitiful man, that he hides other remnant souls in his body that fight to seize it, so he runs friendly one moment and violent the next. Other remnant souls. I am relieved, for that lays my worry that no Shion is an immortal reborn. What do you mean, I ask. Why other souls? I do not know, he says. Some treasure perhaps, or a possession, but until he clears them he will suffer. No wonder I never heard his name in the sect. Likely the No family shielded him, and his father is the old sect leader Yeo Baixian. Yeo Baixian fell to chi deviation, and his son is racked by remnant souls. Coincidence or no, he frowns. Were no Sun Yan free of them, he would be Nascent soul by now with strength past imagining. I am amused he pities no Sion. And who is this senior of yours? I ask, feigning idle curiosity. One who will not give his name, he says. Forgive me, I cannot tell. The old grandfather inside you, of course. I can feel the soul in Li Ah growing stronger, and it strikes me that I sensed it even before the fusion realm. The crossing the void great cultivators should feel it too, yet by his tone none has. Is my own art simply that strong, or is there another cause? Dark as it grows, he will not leave, telling of the sights of his travels, and only the next morning does he go. After, I take up his manual and study how to bind the gold-eating insects. Under a clear sky in the third Medicine Valley, I stand before Old Man Qian, a golden insect on the back of my hand, like a beetle but for its larger mouth. A primordial gold-eating insect, he praises. A rare thing, hard to meet in the Taichang dynasty at least. A gift from my senior brother Li Ah, I say, who reached the top 100 at the assembly and brought it for me to patrol the valley. I have named Li Ah to him more than once, so that should the old man take back the seat one day he might remember Li Ah and raise him first. This Li Ah is a genius, and true to his ties, Old Man Qian nods, and one such insect is a fortune, let alone 16. I loose them from the pouch, the queen twice the rest settling on my shoulder, while the others wheel about me, and so Qian comes to gawk, and I show them off. By evening, every utility disciple has seen them, not for show, But so none strikes at the patrolling insects later. Spring and autumn turn, and 3 years fly by. I cross 50, my days peaceful and full. My lifespan past 300,000 years and its yearly take still climbing. This day, So Cheon brings Yoke ran down from the array while I tease the white spirit rat. Fat as a big dog now, and I rise to greet her. Her face is dark and she says only, "Senior brother, let us talk inside." I lead her up and shut the door, and I have barely turned when she says it. Senior brother Mu Sim is a spy of the Thousand Autumns Pavilion. My face shifts and I frown. Nonsense, what proof? She lays out several sheets. The disciple records the demon extermination hall left behind. The man who brought Mu Sim in was no spy, she says, but every tie after him is a pavilion spy. The pavilion has hunted for years a pavilion master's son, one with a monk's look and unerasable ring scars on his head. I read them close, and they mark who each man met, and Mu Sim is among them, having called on them a few times in the outer Sex City. How careless. Why was it not done more tightly? I curse inwardly, though I am not alarmed, since it is Yop Ran who found it. How many know? I ask. Only I, she says. For the hall does not usually probe utility disciples, and we found that a Medicine Valley master is a pavilion spy but not who. When we would dig further, someone above forbade it. Who forbade you? The outer sect grand elder, Gang Gyong, she says, though her people called it an inner sect order. I find I am glad Gang Gyong holds that seat, a shelter from the wind and rain. I have never served the pavilion, yet with the azure vine tree beneath me I could never wash myself clean, and I will not have my quiet farming life stirred up. I take Yopran's shoulders in both hands, draw a breath, and say this must be buried. That demonic path or no, Mu Sim and I have been years together. I believe him no bad man. Held so, her face reddens, and she lowers her eyes and asks, "Senior brother, are you pavilion too? For if so, I will go with you." How could I be, I say, born of the Taehyun sect? I will die its ghost. I do not care, she says. Whatever sect you go to hereafter, you must take me. Then can you bury this? She says. I burn the rest. Only your copy remains. I let her go and slip the papers into my pouch. Best keep them a while yet, just in case. This is a small thing, she says. I knew you would shield him. I came for a great one. The demonic path means to besiege the Taehyun sect, and this time it is real, for one of the main city elder hall has turned traitor. This is intelligence from a spy the law enforcement hall planted in the myriad Yin sect, already reported above, and the 4 inner sect cities ready for war. There are many great cultivators of other sects and dynasties in the outer sect, years lodged here and not easily driven out. If the demonic path strikes, the outer sect city could be in grave danger, with spies inside to answer them. The demonic path is coming. I frown and ask how they dare, when the sect's numbers have swelled so. They have joined with the Yao race to break the Taehyun sect and split the Taechang dynasty between them, she says grave. Joined with the Yao race. I am confused. Do these demonic sects not know the demon calamity comes in 100 years? She gives more before she hurries off, and I see her to the array myself to keep the rules. Turning to go in, I find old man Xian sitting silent under an old tree, and I realize I have not probed him in a long while. He rose, 2 layers at the heaven-mending platform once, and then went quiet, which is strange. I cast a lifespan probe, golden core 3rd layer, 754 years against a ceiling of 3,200. Golden core 3rd layer. I am startled to see the old man soar so high, and I must watch him closer, lest he pass me unseen. I have learned that the higher the realm, the more men run chi-restraining arts, so senses alone cannot weigh a foe, and the cultivation world is all a contest of who hides deeper. A mercy I hide deep enough and mean to keep it so. Old man Qian seems to feel my gaze, opens his eyes, nods slightly, and returns to his room. The demonic path nears and he is unruffled, doing as he always does. The Taehyun sect is no pushover, still less with its hidden sect leader working in secret, and I need only guard my own valley. At summer's end, the air cool, I walk the outer sect city and mark a sharp rise in law enforcement hall men and soul transformation auras on every wall. The whole city is taut with killing intent. The demonic path truly comes. As ever I go first to the heaven-mending platform, where the Yellow Springs Demon Emperor and the Nightbloom Ghost Mother still sit alone like ascetics. No disguised demons near them. I have long felt the Demon Emperor may be tied to the demonic path, but I cannot report it and be pulled into the vortex. My aim is long life, and 10,000 years on will the Taehyun sect even stand. I was never a man of great righteousness who frets for the world, only an ordinary man. My sweep finds no strong strangers, for the sect now holds the gates tight, letting men leave but not enter. Then I call on Gang Gyung, who is out, so her servants seek me in the hall. I feel very fine, restrictions laid through it, unseen to the eye, and my long study of the Jami array record she gave me lets me read their weave. Then I feel it, and my face turns strange. A great space lies beneath this mansion, just like the 8 sceneries grotto heaven under the Medicine Valley. An hour on she returns, waves the heavy door shut and takes the high seat, bidding me sit, her face dark from some trouble. I set a pouch of the first ripe herbs on the table, hers being high grade and slow, so this is only the first batch. She does not take it but asks what else I want, since Homa could have counted them. I heard the demonic path will besiege the Taeon sect. I say, is it true? For asking the demonic path is the surest way to know. True, she nods. Within half a year at most, the righteous demonic war breaks over the Taechang dynasty. The cause is the Taehan sect growing too strong these years, which unsettles the demonic path, and with the Yao race joined to them, the two have real hope of breaking it. I hesitate and say the outer demons will invade in 100 years, so should men not live in peace and cultivate now. And how can one trust the Yao race so easily? She glances at me and snorts. Do you think the Yao race is of one mind? She says, for the outer demons are no pure Yao, and should they slaughter their way in the Yao race is butchered too. And when was the human race ever truly united? The more so at such a time, the more they fight. The 9 dynasties' resources are finite, and the stronger the Taehan sect, the harder it squeezes the rest. So the old righteous demonic strife is really a fight for resources under a fair-sounding excuse. This time the excuse is the sect's evil deeds, which I will hear of soon, and once its people's hearts waver, the demonic path attacks. Win, and righteous and demonic trade places. Fail, and the sect will lack the strength to wipe the demonic path out. I fall silent, for I feel this best of all, since every breakthrough of mine drinks great chi and touches the sect. Concentrate a dynasty's chi and spirit stones in one sect and its leaders gain the better hope of breaking through. So even with the calamity 100 years off they fight. Or rather the great cultivators care nothing for the world, only their own cultivation. For strong enough they might go south over the sea to seek the chances of the immortal realm. Grandmaster, I ask, which side are you on? I stand with the victor, she smiles. And you need not fret, for I can keep our outer sect city safe. With so many great cultivators here, the demonic path will not strike from this side. I let out a breath and say that so long as my valley is spared, all is well. You know fear now, she says. I told you to cultivate more and you would not. Cultivation cannot be rushed, I say. You brat lucky only to have latched onto a grandmaster like me, she says. Before you go find Homa, for I have had him ready a batch of cultivation pills to lift you further. 50 years old and no core formation yet. A waste. Do not go calling yourself my grand disciple. My thanks, grandmaster, I say and grumble within. Have you ever heard of a 50-year-old at the ninth of the fusion realm? Said aloud, it would fright her to death. I ask after the strongest of the demonic path, but she does not know either, saying bluntly that were Yeo Baiqian still about the demonic path would never dare. But with Chu Chengyi as sect leader, the clash of the strongest is hard to call. That makes me mourn for the demonic path. Yeo Baiqian is not dead yet. Grandmaster, I ask of a sudden, have you heard of the Yellow Springs Demon Emperor? She thinks, shakes her head. Never. Why? Nothing, I say. Only a name from a book, said to be mighty. Never mind, I will take my leave. And I bow and go, and behind me she sits lost in thought. After that talk, my worry over the war eases, and my days run peaceful as ever. 3 months on, at autumn's end, yellow leaves still heaped in the third Medicine Valley, I drill the disciples at dawn with old man Xian among them. Only I mark his frame grown more robust still, his cultivation already at the 9th of the Golden Core realm. I cannot tell how he cultivates, for near me he never stirs a wisp of chi. After I dismiss them and walk to the pavilion, 16 gold-eating insects wheeling round me like golden stars, and at the foot of the stairs I stop. 2 figures streak in from the horizon, the vice sect leader Jihan Qian and elder Gozhang. An old man Qian among the herbs glances back once and looks away. They land and beckon me up, and once inside Gozhang lays his restriction. Bang. Jihan Qian slams the table and my heart jumps. Damn it. Must he slam the table every visit? I badly want to cast the great yin-yang transformation, turn demonic cultivator, and thrash him. For this room's furniture is fine wood and it pains me to see it broken. Chu Changji has gone too far. Jihan Chen rages. The whole Chu family rotten to the core, and Banan must write it and lay it before the world. The Taeon sect as the world's righteous house must answer to the people. Again, I say nothing, and it seems I should not have shown mercy back then. What is the rush? Gojong grumbles, sitting as if you did not know his doings. I think you only want the seat. This time you may not use Banan as a sword, for Banan is the banner that draws the sect its disciples, and must not become a blade in its power struggles. I look at Gojong, whose words are always the soundest. I do want to be sect leader, Jihanshin sighs. Sure I could make the sect better. Look at Chu Chengzi's deeds. Men under him are finding greedy demons. men who would sacrifice a whole outer sect. I once took him for sword Venerable Budo and trusted him, and he was nothing of the kind. Now the demonic path bears down and rumors against him run wild. Hearts waver. The sect stands in danger. Refining greedy demons. I am surprised, for from Chu Jungpung's words before I had thought of the Chu family's rivals who made the greedy demons. It seems there is more to it, a strife within the clan, or a thing self-staged. Chu Chongji is a letdown. Go Zhang shakes his head. When he punished Chu Hyun's kin hard, I took it for righteousness over blood. And now I see it was only self-guard. Yet he is hard to touch. With many in the Elder Hall he raised in warm ties to the Chiando sect. I am confused what these two are performing. And to what end they tell an outer sect disciple like me, likely acting to stir my heart and make me volunteer to bear the sect's dark. They go on cataloging Chu Chengyi's evils, and against my will some anger rises, for if he did such things it is heinous indeed, yet I stay cool and unmoved. The sect may meet a calamity soon, Go Zhang says, and the Third Medicine Valley holds too many herbs to leave unguarded. We mean to send 50 golden core cultivators to hold it. What say you? The Gi and Go clans each send 25, Gi Hanshan adds, and so you among them, to guard your valley and keep clear of the war. 50 golden core cultivators. I would not refuse, since I cannot sit the Third Medicine Valley forever, and I thank the two. Half an hour on they leave and I see them out. An old man Xion drifts over to ask what they came for, a thing the old man would never once have asked. His rising cultivation has brought a rising boldness, plainly a comeback in the making. I feign hesitation and tell him what I learned. Chu Chongzi's crimes bared by the demonic path and spreading wild. The 5 great demonic sects joined with the Yao race to besiege us. With my worried face it seems the sect teeters on ruin. Do not fret, Valley Master. He soothes the Taehan sect has stood on this land 1,000 years through the fall of many dynasties. The histories tell of several demonic sieges it turned from danger to safety. I am truly eased. True, I say, when the sky falls the tall will hold it up, while I only grow herbs for the sect's alchemy, the one contribution I can make. He nods, admiring the bent in me. Still, danger will come with the demonic path, he says, and I hold a finger art, sharp and cunning, that with a careless foe may even kill above your realm. Let me teach you. I have never learned a finger art, and am glad to, and I ask why his background feels far from simple, knowing and doing so much. Ha! Only an old man long lived. He laughs, with some experience, and the laugh lacks his usual meekness, and I feel a sect leader's air off him. He leads me into the near woods, saying this art may not pass to outsiders, and he makes an exception for me. There he unfolds the spirit-gathering divine finger, which draws spiritual power and chi onto the finger to loose. The longer the compression, the greater the kill, in theory without limit. I grow keener still to have it. 2 days on the 50 golden core cultivators arrive. Go you among them, first to my pavilion. You have great face. Go you teases, sitting, to make the Gi and Go clans each send 25 golden core disciples of noble blood to guard you. I doubt they guard me, I say, but this valley for has the sect and other medicine valley so large. Some he allows, but none in the outer or inner sect, and it is chiefly your Ban An name that draws the notice above. Then would such fanfare not expose me, I ask. True enough, he says. In truth, I think they guard not the valley, but the 7th tier Hyeonchang tree within it. Go Yu drops it and pulls out a book with a sly air, saying I must read it, so thrilling, and with pictures. The Taehan Secret Records. I am speechless, for Go Yu's heart has turned, and he no longer even asks after the Taehan Immortal Venerable, which tempts me to give that book a foul ending. I take it and turn a few pages and am hooked. Good heavens, Sim Jin is stealing my craft, for the pictures use the comic's way of drawing motion, whole sets of movement made plain, leaving much to the fancy. I cough, close it, tuck it away, and say I will read it later. The demonic path near and my mind elsewhere. Keep it safe, Go Yu says. The sect checks hard now and it is hard to buy. And we go down. An hour on, walking a wood path, I feel Ji Soyu's aura and, after a pause, decide I should greet her. She saved me once and gave me talismans and formations and seeds, and it would be wrong not to. Half an hour more brings me to a mountaintop where she sits in purple by the cliff, her back to the valley, a formation round her I dare not cross. Greetings, third young miss, I say with cupped hands, and probe. Golden core, 5th layer, 50 years against a ceiling of 8,900. 5th layer, and fast. You need not greet me hereafter, she says without turning. You are the valley master here, no need for such forms. If the third young miss has any need, I say find me or tell the disciples. She says, and I do not know what more to say and make to leave. He Hanshan is my great-grandfather, she says, of a sudden. And if he asks too much of you, come to me, for you are my person. The vice sect leader has not pressed me, I say quickly. I know him too well, she says. Since I was small, he has used me to build momentum. And knowing you are Ban-An, he will not stop using you. In the sect, meeting a thing you cannot refuse. Use my name to decline. I smile. Another backer. Write another investiture of the gods, she says abruptly. You write that kind best. So she reads too. I agree, saying I am already at it. Go down, she says, and I bow and leave. At dusk, I reach Cheyenne Valley for another harvest. 5,000 or 6,000 years of lifespan by my reckoning. And at the mouth, I feel a long absent aura. Li Hyondo. Why is he here when they said Jangnak of Chengju was in Yao Chaos? Valley Master, His Majesty is here. Come quick. Nahan calls from the hill, and I go fast to the pavilions, where Li Hyondo waits with Noseon and Yokryun. He smiles at me, waves Noseon quiet, and asks whether my cultivation goes smooth. Smoothly, Your Majesty, I bow. With all your herbs, I am at the third of foundation establishment. Third is not enough. Work harder, he says. Reach the ninth and I will help you to core formation. My thanks, I will strive. As I answer, I keep my eyes off Noseon, who glares as if to eat me, angry and resentful, since all his teaching won me nothing. But for my coming only once or twice a month, he would swear I toyed with him. Li Hyondo waves me to the table, and I sit without airs, while Noseon and Yokryun stand, which galls Noseon more. Any great matters in the Taehan sect of late? Li Hyondo asks, weighing me. I frown and hesitate that the demonic path means to besiege it, and rumors of the sect leader run in the sect, and I lay it out but leave out my third Medicine Valley. His smile deepens. Chuchoni is arrogant and looks down on all. He laughs. Even his own kin are his chess pieces. No wonder he does such things. The men I set in the demonic path send word that at year's end they strike the Taehan sect in full force. I weigh his stance toward the sect, and ask all confusion whether the demonic path does not fear Sword Venerable Budo, said to be the world's first sword cultivator. They fear him, he shakes his head, which is why they waited so long, and Budo's true name has already spread in the demonic path. Strong as that person is, he has not reached the invincible. That person. Startled, I wonder if someone is wearing my name. He looks at me earnest and says the war nears, and by rights he should pull me out, but Li Ah is still here, and he needs me to watch the sect. So he will set an Ascent Soul cultivator to guard me. I thank him and say there is no need. An outer sect disciple the demonic path does not even know, and an Ascent Soul guard would only draw their great cultivator's eyes. Fear not, he waves. This one is master of aura hiding. Undetectable even by a far higher realm. Cannot refuse. You are my person, he says. I cannot let harm find you. And this one is close with Li Ah, and you may even take her to see him. So it is settled, and I cannot refuse. An incense stick later, I take my leave and start the harvest. From the room, Li Hyondo watches me work and sighs that this boy is steady and wins his heart, and bids them all keep me well. Your Majesty, Noseon cannot help but say, you rebuke me, yet I only ask, who weighs heavier in your heart, Li Ah or the Crown Prince? Yokryun frowns but does not stop him. Both weigh. Li Hyondo laughs. Why fret? Li Ah does not even stay in Chengju. He cannot threaten the Crown Prince. Unless what? Unless Li Ah masters the Imperial Ultimate Sword Technique. Picking herbs, I eavesdrop, and I know the Imperial Ultimate Sword Technique well. When I have time, I will ask Li Ah, and if he means to fight for the throne, I could offer some guidance. Wait, this old thing means mischief. The pavilion holds no restriction, and I suspect Li Hyondo said it for my ears. I recall another thing, that his ambition is to be an emperor who never dies. For an emperor, the great threat is the Crown Prince. For even a mortal sovereign fears his heir in old age, and few crown princes ever take the throne clean. Does Li Hyondo mean to use Li Ah to cut the Crown Prince down? It is very possible. I let the thought go and pick my herbs, and let the father and son settle it themselves. Because he is there, I do not leave at once, but only the next morning, and he is not gone, meaning to linger. I suspect he wishes to watch the show of the righteous demonic war. Back at the Medicine Valley, I warn Musim and the rest that the demonic path nears and they must not wander, which sets them all on edge, Musim among them. I mean to pass my nights here now, for the third valley has Old Man Xion and 50 golden core cultivators and is safe, while the Medicine Valley holds only utility disciples. Its share of my lifespan income shrinks by the year, but the 8 sceneries grotto heaven beneath it is another matter, and small as the take is, I cannot abandon it. 10 days on the Nascent Soul cultivator Li Hyondo said arrives. I stand at the wooden fence and watch a green-robed woman in a bamboo hat come bearing a sword, the cold wind in her clothes lending her an ethereal air. Nascent Soul, 9th layer, 214 years against a ceiling of 1,360. A 200-year Nascent Soul, fine aptitude. I step toward her, saying I am Goan, master of this valley, and asking who she is. She is before me in a blink, and I feign a startle and step back. Show me your other Valley Master token, she sends, her voice cold and pleasing, a beauty by the sound alone. I hand her the Chione Valley token, and she checks it and returns it. I am sent by His Majesty to guard you, she sends. From now an outer sect disciple at your side. So you are Elder Han's recommendation. I nod. I have awaited you long, and I lead her to the pavilion. Inside, I shut the door and say all in the valley are chi refining, so she need not worry. And she lays a sign restriction on the door with a wave. Very careful. Then she sets her sword on the table and lifts off the hat, and a fall of white hair spills down. Her face is young as her early 20s, pretty and fine yet cold in the eyes and brow. She is an ice-cold beauty whose chill makes it easy to overlook her looks and hard to meet her gaze. She weighs me and asks whether I am close with Li Ah. I am, I say, for senior brother Li was once a utility disciple in this very valley, and we joined the same day. A smile breaks over her, stunning enough to charm any man, though I think little of it, knowing Gi Soyu who is lovelier still. That boy has been stubborn since small and never got on with his kin. She says I did not think he would befriend a utility disciple like you. A pointed way to put it. She draws a cyan jade bracelet from her pouch, a high-grade magical artifact that stores spiritual power, and names it a welcome gift. Store spiritual power, a rare thing. I wave it off, saying she guards me and I dare not take her gift. Take it when I say, she says impatient. Lia's mother is my elder sister, so a friend of his counts as my junior. She tosses it to me and turns to the shelf, bidding me go about my work and leave her be. I catch it and would say this is my building, and hardly convenient, but seeing her set to stay I give it up. Since meeting Simjin I keep nothing unfit for eyes in the pavilion, so after a pause I leave and do not trouble her. Her name is Yang Na, and her coming does not break the valley's rhythm, for she rarely leaves the room and does not mix with the disciples. When I make for the third Medicine Valley she insists on coming, so I take her, and there she is shocked, and weighs me anew. This utility disciple is not simple. I do not fear her telling Li Heyondo, who has likely already looked into the third Medicine Valley, a thing hard to hide, and my conscience is clear. Should he suspect me for it, I am not afraid, my fear of him running far short of my fear of the Taeon sect. So Yang Na trails me on my rounds, watching me pick and sow, and a month on she warms to me a little. I am too honest and too gentle with the utility disciples to threaten anyone, and she sees why Lia could like me. Winter snow flutters over all my valleys. Li Heyondo said the demonic path would strike at year's end, so I fret over it daily, for any day now they may come. This day, at the Medicine Valley, Mu Sim and I lead the disciples shoveling snow while Yang Na stands at the fence, arms crossed on her sword, watching. Senior brother, what realm is this outer sect disciple? Mu Sim asks low, curious, for her stance looks strong. None of your business, I say. She is my disciple. Do not think of poaching her. He chuckles that I know him best, and asks when I will set him a foundation establishment disciple for an aid, to lend him prestige. If I did, I say, would you dare take one? He seems to catch my meaning, smiles awkward, and drops it, and I go on shoveling. Then I feel something and frown, though my hands do not stop, and Yang Na feels it too and flies to the south peak, drawing every eye. Snow flies thick and the world runs white, her figure on the peak blurred as if the blizzard might swallow it. What ails her? Mu Sim asks. I do not know, I say. Wait for her to come down. A clear, ethereal bird cry rings between heaven and earth, past the drowning of the wind, and every brow knits, seeking its source. Mu Sim's face changes, and he shouts for all to get inside, quick, hauling at me toward the pavilions. I shake his hand off and say they should go. I must watch the valley. That is a demonic beast of the Thousand Autumns pavilion, he says urgent. The heaven-swallowing netherbird no thing a foundation establishment can face. Go back first. I will not fight it. Do not forget who you are. I say low, and he grinds his teeth, turns, and runs. Soon only I remain, the disciples at the windowsills, taut with fear. I have already felt the netherbird's aura, very strong. A match for the crossing the void realm. A violent wind rolls in from the south, snow sweeping the valley, and it pains me to see the herbs thrash, but with Yang Na and the disciples watching I cannot show my strength. So I walk to the highest grade garden and shield it with foundation establishment power. Then Yang Na is beside me out of the air, planting a great flag and pouring power into it. And it waves up a light screen over us that cuts the wind and snow. She breathes out and scolds. Are you mad? What are these urges to you? Did you not feel that devilish chi? I felt it, I say. But if I can feel it, the sect's great cultivators surely can. Boom. A terrible wind pressure falls, and I look up with the rest, every eye wide. The vast snow mist tears open on a monstrous bird that blots the sky, passing over the Medicine Valley, its bulk so huge the valley sinks into a dark that will not lift for a while. Even I am shaken by its size. Its wingspan passed 100 miles by my sight. On its back ride the oars of demonic cultivators, 10,000 at least. all bound for the outer sect city. The heaven-swallowing netherbird of the Thousand Autumns Pavilion, a Tier 6 demonic beast with the might to break a dynasty. Yang Na murmurs, fear in her eyes, her first sight of one. I say nothing, only stare and pray it does not fix on my valley. When it passes, sunlight spills back over the herbs and the snow falls again like a white mist let down, and the disciples breathe out. But I already feel great cultivators fighting in the far distance, crossing the void realm, and more than two, the battle rising from other outer sect cities. The man on the peak has come from Musim, and I probe him. Nascent Soul, first level, 203 years against a ceiling of 980. His name, I gather, is Bake Mu. I let him into the valley on purpose, since I felt his cultivation is no threat, and I only wish to make sure. Li Ah frowns at Musim from afar, a killing light in his eyes. Musim grinds his teeth and shouts that he will go back with them, only harm no one else. That will not do, Bake Mu sneers, licking his lips. For his orders are to kill everyone in the Taeon sect, down to the meanest utility disciple. And who said he means to take Musim back? For today, Musim will be buried here with the rest and his head carried home. A cold snort rings out, and Bake Mu's pupils blow wide as a green-robed woman appears at his side, sword already cutting. Yang Na. He leaps clear and takes a gash on the arm even so, blood flying, and she presses, and the two rise fighting into the high sky, sword chi spilling, devilish chi torn to fog. Who is that? Lia asks me. Your mother's younger sister, Yang Na. I say low, do you not know her? His face freezes, and he mutters, how is it her? I cannot read what that means, and do not ask, only saying I will go look at the herbs in the forest, and I run for the trees. I reach the forest edge, my back to the valley, and look off at the far mountains. I raise my right hand, thumb pressed to middle finger, and aim into the distance, for I feel it crossing the void aura some hundreds of miles off, lingering for no good reason. It is too near my valley to leave, so it must die. A perfect moment to try old man Xian's spirit-gathering divine finger. I have mastered it, and unpolished though I am, killing a crossing the void demonic cultivator should be no hard thing. Spiritual power compresses before my finger, and I draw none of the ambient chi lest I alarm Yangna and the rest. Hundreds of miles off, on flat ground among the peaks, a band of demonic cultivators raises a formation platform, and an imposing figure watches to the side. He is Seo Rin, a demonic lord of the Cheonjol sect at the 4th level of Crossing the Void, a ball of white flame turning in his hand, his face cold. A disciple murmurs that the formation will stand within a stick of incense, and Seo Rin bids him form it quick, and gets no further for his face changes and he turns his head. Everything is too fast. Even a Crossing the Void great cultivator cannot answer in time. In his eyes, a translucent stream of chi strikes at an impossible speed, tearing through the mountains, warping the world he sees, and then it lands. A massive chi rips the sky and slams the flat between the peaks, and Seo Rin and his whole band are ground to dust in an instant. A brilliant light drowns the mountains and swallowing all in its path. The notifications bloom before me. 47 years of lifespan seized from the demon lord Seo Rin, and from the rest below him, and I count 26 in all. The lowest at core formation, 2 of them Nascent Soul. A sin I repent inwardly, not that I wish to slaughter, but who told them to press so near my valley. Above the Medicine Valley, Yang Na and Bake Mu break apart and turn, the far light and the terrible aura changing their faces. Lia flies down to find me behind a tree, feigning a shiver. He breathes out to see me whole, and a fierce wind arrives from afar and bends the forest and shakes the peaks, and he throws his own chi up to block it. What is this? I ask through my teeth, all terror. Some great cultivators fighting, perhaps, he says grim. The gale presses long, and when it ebbs he stands and says we can only hide in the valley now. Danger everywhere, and I say I told him so, and he hauls me in. As we enter, Yang Na drops from the sky with a dripping head in hand and Bake Mu's Nascent Soul on her blade, full of killing intent, and the disciples shrink from her. She throws the head before Musim, shatters the soul with a shake of her sword, levels the point at him, and asks whether he has any last words. Musim goes white and trembles. Stop, I shout, rushing to block him. He is of the Thousand Autumns Pavilion, she says cold. But he has spent decades with me and never harmed us, I say through my teeth. As if wagering all, he surely has his reasons. Once this is over, I will send him from the Taehan sect. Her brow knits. Musim dares not look at the others and wishes for a crack in the ground. Her sword tip nears my throat, and I glance at Lia and shout for him to speak. He comes over frowning, pushes her blade aside, and says to let it go, that the demonic cultivator plainly held a grudge against Musim. She sheathes with a hump and turns away. I face Musim and say I am sorry, that I cannot keep him hereafter, that returning to the pavilion will only bring him suffering, so he should live under an assumed name. A heart set on kindness makes a good man whatever his birth. His eyes redden and he kneels and kowtows. Li A's frown eases and he sighs. Yang Na glances at me, surprised, for plainly I long knew Mu Sim's name, and Mu Sim seems to want no part of the pavilion. I pull him up and tell him to hide indoors, lest other pavilion cultivators know him. Li A asks Yang Na by voice why she came, and I catch the edges of it. She would tell him the emperor means the throne for him, that the emperor failed his mother. Li A answers that he does not want it, that the crown prince is virtuous and able with the triple spiritual root, the perfect heir, and that saying such things to him is useless. Do not harm my junior brother, Li A warns her, or do not blame me for turning on you, and she ignores him. After Baek Mu, the valley falls quiet, the disciples murmuring over Mu Sim's name, and the sex calamity runs on, battle aura breaking out from more and more quarters. I keep an eye on the azure swan sword, glad it does not cry as the white spirit sword would at Yoprand's danger. An hour on, no more demonic cultivators coming. I cannot sit still, and I tell Leah I go to another valley and bid the two guard this one. He knows the intersect valley is safer and nods, and Yang Na does not press me this time, Leah weighing more in her heart. Before I go, I leave a gold-eating insect in the room, for I have bound each with a soul tie and can read the medicine valley through it at any hour. I step onto the array and reach the third medicine valley, and the moment I arrive, deafening roars come from every side, dark clouds rolling, a summer heat in the winter air. So Qian greets me, swallowing his fear, and asks what we should do. I mark that old man Qian is still there, and am at ease at once, and I probe him and tell So Qian not to panic and to trust the sect. Nascent Soul, 9th level, 754 years against the ceiling of 3,200. Good heavens, this realm climbs fast and steady. I wonder where the chi he drinks comes from. I tell So Qian to stay near and set off on my rounds. In passing old man Qian, I feel a hidden, mighty chi surging in him that shakes me. He draws no heaven and earth chi, so his chi seems born from nothing within him, as if an entrance to another world sat inside him and poured out an endless chi. What art is this? Valley Master, the battle is everywhere, do not wander, his voice comes. I turn to find him cross-legged under a tree, eyes shut, upright now, a powerhouse's aura being born in him, nothing like his usual self. I only go to check the herbs, I say, and hurry off, and behind me he murmurs that with such a disciple here he could not bear to let the Tehan sect perish. Though I have run 100 feet, I hear it, and I keep my face still, as if I did not. The 50 golden core cultivators guarding the valley are all fighting, Ji Soyu and Go Yu among them, each against many, the case grown urgent. I harvest every near-ripe herb along my path, to spare at the battle, since a ruined herb is a great loss. Then a long high whistle turns my head, and fire-red quillins appear on the horizon with a figure hidden in the foremost. Ji Soyu, the Qilin step. She takes a step and moves like a ghost, and a fire-red Qilin rams a core formation demon to shards, and burns its golden core away, domineering past compare. Her aura and speed match the lower Nascent Soul now. She feels my gaze and glances at me mid-battle, then steps the Qilin step, sword in both hands, and none can meet her. As more demons swarm her with spells from every side, her eyes narrow, and a wave of air bursts from her and hurls them miles off, the Foundation establishment ones bursting where they stand. She stabs her sword at the sky, and vast chi soars up the blade and knots into a golden disc over 10 miles across, graven with deep runes. I know at a glance the airwave was a divine ability. The heaven and earth Daogong, the very scroll gang Gyong, stole at the Gi clan's banquet, which I study myself now and then. What lies past it I have not seen, but I feel it holds a power beyond core formation. This woman's gifts are a terror, to have mastered 2 divine abilities at core formation. From the golden disc pour streaks of golden dragon phantoms, as if a dragon host came from another world, killing through the demons on every side, sending them fleeing in panic. Some cast spells to resist and have their chi torn open, then are swallowed whole into a dragon's maw. Being phantoms, I can see the demons burned alive by the golden flame within the dragon's belly. Not even ash left. By the time I have gone 10 miles, no demon stands within 5 miles of her. She has killed 100 core formation and above 300 foundation establishment in one breath. And this is only what I saw, for she fought long before I came. She hovers, both hands on her sword, breathing hard, sweat on her snow-white brow. Then she turns and looks, her fine brows knitting. Following her gaze, I see monsters and evil ghosts like a black ocean rolling in from the horizon, dense past counting. Before them, a black-robed man on a bone sword holds a great black flag. The Gi clan's Qilin step, the heaven and earth Dao gang, the heavenly dragon suppressing demon image. He calls so many mighty means at such a young age. Grown further, you would one day cover the sky with a hand. His cold voice rolls out, and a terrible aura swallows all things. Picking herbs, I look up, and with a clear line I probe him. Crossing the void, 9th level, 982 years against a ceiling of 2,300. Not bad. I watch and mean no part of it, since the Gi clan surely keeps a great cultivator over Gi Soyu. She faces him without fear, and the golden disc above her descends and rights itself behind her, golden dragons half emerging round her, as if she were their mistress. He raises the black flag to speak, and a cold snort rings through the world. Seo Gyul, it says, as vice sect master of the Myriad Yin sect, do you not shame yourself bullying a junior? Vice sect master of the Myriad Yin sect. I recall hearing that Seo Rue's father held that seat, so this is he. Ji Jin, Seo Gyul snorts. So you came too. It is time to settle our grudge. And he leaps into the thunderclouds. A deafening roar follows, the clouds churning, rainbows piercing the sea of cloud to scatter on the mortal world. The demon host roars and rushes the third medicine valley like loosed beasts. No weak auras among them, and Jisoo Yu looses her golden dragons into them, unstoppable. But the demons are simply too many, and after 10 miles the dragons fade as their power runs dry. I enter the woods to clear the snow from the gardens, and many herbs lie crushed, and it pains me, and my killing intent begins to rise. Fight all you like, roar all you like, only do not ruin my herbs. While I grieve the herbs, Jisoo Yu is ringed by demons, casting no more spells but fighting with twin swords, one blade to each monster, her aura a rainbow. Other golden core disciples come to her aid, too few against the host. The nether bird cries again over all the roars, and I find it grating. Why have the sect's great cultivators not put that thing down? Then I feel it, and over 30 miles off a cat demon cut in two, falls into a garden and thrashes, crushing patches of herbs. My eyes narrow and a sword chi bursts from the ground and slays it. I look up and find yet more demons falling like rain into the third medicine valley, and my face goes dark, and I shift my right foot to the side. I raise a green spiritual sea from the ground across half the valley, and countless green sword chi rise from it into the sky. A magnificent sight. Everyone hunts the demons and not the Taehan disciples, for I hold it so. I spend much to loose it and much again to steer it clear of my own people. Monster on monster, ghost on ghost, they fall, blooming like blood fireworks. On a far peak, Simjin stands at a cliff, sees the green sea, and draws it, her pupils shrinking as the sword chi rises. Jisoo Yu stops amid the green light, secretly shaken, feeling the power in it outmatch even her great-grandfather. In under 10 breaths the world falls silent, the green sword chi drifting in a blood mist, and the monsters and ghosts are gone. Every fighting disciple stares blank. In the woods I let out a soft breath. This drew heavily on me, both the casting and the steering, so as to spare the disciples. The notifications pour up, and they anger me. 1 year of lifespan seized from this demon, 1 from that, 2 from a rare few, and I cannot read the ghost's lifespan at all. I frown and think of Seogyeol's great flag, and wonder whether these demons are no true living things. This is the inner sect after all, and how would the demonic path march so many demons in but by some spell that summons them? Even so my lifespan climbs fast, for the numbers are there, and the urge takes me to slaughter on all sides, since lifespan comes so quick this way. I hold it down. Too much killing invites disaster, and I will keep my old road no enemies, growing strong and quiet. I still do not know how far the highest realm of this world stands above me, and until I am invincible, it is best to walk soft. In another's place, seeing an ant on the groundswell by devouring other bugs, I too would crush it. The ant cannot see me in the sky as I cannot see the higher realms, the immortals and the gods. As long as the mysterious yellow dragon chi art can still be upgraded, there are still men in the world who could pierce its concealment. Stay steady, do not be reckless. I lean only on my flowers and herbs, and slow as that may be, it is the surest road, picking and planting through the years to the strongest state with no foe at all. When the notifications end, my lifespan has jumped above 50,000 years in one stroke. The demon host was 200,000 at least, so the great mass of them were no living souls, and the demonic path's methods are truly foul. The valley's crisis eases with the host destroyed, though Seogyeol and Gi-jin fight on above the clouds, neither able to break the other. After a while, both streak off to the horizon and the third medicine valley knows peace again, and I go back to work. An hour on, at a small river, moving snow into the water to melt, a figure appears at my side, and I feign a startle and step back. It is you, I say, astonished, and probe him. Crossing the void, 2nd level, 754 years against a ceiling of 3,200. What hellish speed is this? Old man Xian still wears his cloth robe, but his frame has grown sturdy. His withered hair lifts. His life chi returns. Under my gaze, his face sheds decades until he looks a man in his early 30s. White hair streaming like silver thread. Transformation, I stammer. He lifts his chin, feet off the ground, and looks down at me, asking whether I hate these demonic path followers. My thoughts race, and I answer, feigning unease, that I hate them. Then this seat will take you to wipe the demonic path out, he says. How about it? Who are you, I ask. Old Man Qian was a name I used a while, he says. My name is Yeo Bei Qian. Have you heard it? What a show-off. He lifts his chin higher, sure he has stunned the lad. Could you be the former sect leader who felt a chi deviation, I ask, feigning shock. Chi deviation. His face twitches. That was a thing this seat did on purpose. But you are only chi refining now, I say. How will you wipe out the demonic path? Lad, he says with scorn, this seat merely pressed my power into my primordial spirit to fake it, only to let them see what the Taeon sect becomes without me. I say nothing, for in his war with the Elder Hall, how many guiltless disciples must die? Come, he says, and reaches for my shoulder, and I step back fast, saying it is too dangerous. I will not go. I must guard the valley. Do you not wish to see how the righteous demonic war ends? He laughs. I shake my head hard as a rattle drum and wave that I had best stay and guard the valley. Rest easy, he says. Your valley will be fine, for I loosed my aura just now, and a great cultivator has already come. And he drops to this seat and turns gentle. I do feel a crossing the void aura racing near. The sect's foundation is deep beyond telling. He moves again, and I see it clear yet cannot dodge, so I yield, and he grips my shoulder and vanishes with me. As he takes me, I push the mysterious yellow dragon chi art to its limit, and hide my true depth to seem a plain foundation establishment cultivator. I need not have troubled, for he does not inspect my body. 10 breaths on, he sets me in a grand hall, its stone pillars coiled with dragons and phoenixes and quilans and beasts I do not know. He drops me a word, wait here, my cultivation has not fully returned, and climbs the steps to sit cross-legged on a golden chair like a supreme lord. He is not yet at his peak by my probe, but the words still ring like bluster, not recovered, and still putting on airs. And you loosed your aura. Do you not fear your rivals finish you now? Wait, this man acts so recklessly, and yet dragged me along. Could he have seen I am sword venerable Budo, and at the thought a cold sweat drenches me. The hall goes silent as I weigh his intent. Then I feel 2 auras nearing, one familiar, and ho, the other is already fusion realm. I do not turn, only step to a near pillar to wait, and 2 figures fly in, and I probe. Fusion realm. First level, 1,465 years against a ceiling of 2,750. His name, I gather, is Noe Jin, one I never heard, for I had thought the sect leader Chu Cheonggi would come, which means Chu Cheonggi is likely higher still. My own fusion ninth feels none too secure, and after this calamity I must hoard lifespan harder, for the strongest of the Taehan sect is not enough, since I must yet outlast the demon calamity. Yeo Bei Qian, you are still alive, Noe Jin says, walking toward him, his voice a bell, burly in an embroidered black robe, a fierce beast head on his back with a pale lightning bolt in its jaws. 16-year-old An Ho has shot up taller in a fitted blue robe, his hair bound high, 2 strands loose like swordwind, handsome, a sharpness in his brow past hiding. And I look on him gratified. Grown so handsome, just like me. He catches my gaze and nods slightly. Noe Jin, Yo Baekshon says without opening his eyes. Do you wish this seat alive now, or dead? And his tone carries more weight than when he faced me. Crossing the void, Noe Jin narrows his eyes. So you were touched by it after all, and Yo Baekshon does not answer, and the air turns fine. And Ho comes to my side and asks by voice who this Yo Baekshon is. You do not know, and yet you came here. I was captured, he sends. Master had Elder Noe guard me and we were evacuating, when Elder Noe changed of a sudden and brought me here. Before these 2 I ask him, do you think voice transmission is any use? And he looks to Noe Jin, whose robe stirs, a terrible aura brewing. Yeo Bei Qian, since you faked your death, do not return, Noe Jin says. The Taehan sect does not need you. The hall doors slam and a vast aura fills it and catches in Ho's breath. Before a junior you would move against this former sect leader, Yeo Bei Qian says. Eyes still shut. Let him witness the cruelty of the cultivation world, Noe Jin says, and lunges, his right palm falling at Yeo Beichion's crown. 2 powers collide and a terrible gale shakes the hall, and I feign being unable to stand, and Anho moves before me and shields me with his own power. This boy. I look at his back, gratified. 16 and already foundation establishment 5th, and by his aura a match for the 8th. Only he faces the fusion realm. He grits his teeth and is pushed back all the same. Then I feel it and look. And Noe Jin, who struck first, is trembling all over, his aura falling fast, while another aura climbs at a monstrous rate. Yo Baekshon. You, impossible, Noe Jin cries, despair in it, and Yo Baekshon rises from his seat, feet off the floor, and looks down on him, cold, at the 9th of crossing the void. His cultivation leaps several levels at once, and charges toward the fusion realm, though truly he only loses his real strength. And Ho stares transfixed. You tricked me. Noe Jin trembles, the reversing fate divine technique. Noe Jin, Yo Baiqian mocks, still as rash as ever. How many have your rashness killed, and you never learn? So today it is your turn to bear it. This seat awaited Chu Changyi, and you came first to seek death, so this seat will take your cultivation. Do not walk too fast in the afterlife, for Chu Changyi will come to keep you company soon. He presses his right hand to Noejin's brow, and Noejin struggles and cannot break free, his primordial spirit writhing. Yo Baiqian suppresses body and soul by some unthinkable art, and devours his power. I watch in dread. What technique is this? His aura climbs to a new height, and Noejin kneels, his body withering to the eye, his wild black hair whitening fast. Both of us feel the pressure ease, for Yo Baiqian rains his aura in to spare us. And Ho breathes out and stands before me, watching. I sigh within, having taught him too little, for in such a moment the boy thinks not to flee, but to watch the show. Yo Baiqian rises, and Noejin falls, and after a long while his power is drained dry. When the hand withdraws, he topples down the steps, lifting his weak face in pain, raising a hand as if to beg. Yo Baiqian flicks his index finger and a bloody burst pierces the brow and shatters the primordial spirit. The spirit-gathering divine finger. I sense him already at the third of the fusion realm and still rising, so his cultivation runs past the third, the existence that could make the whole demonic path wary. I stay wary myself lest he turn on me, for his son No Sion is no normal thing. He ignores Ho and looks at me, his mouth curling. How about it? Do I now have the standing to wipe out the demonic path? You are the sect leader, I say, feigning nerves. Naturally you can, and I step before Ho. Go An, become my disciple, he says, in a tone that brooks no refusal. You shall be the next sect leader. My head aches, and I smile bitter that my aptitude is plain, that however he cultivates me, I will never reach a depth the whole sect would accept. When he passed me the seat, it would be the hour of the sect's chaos. What if I pass you my cultivation before my lifespan ends? He says with scorn. I am stunned, yet I could never take the sect leader's seat, for even one as strong as he had to fake his death to pass it on. I want no such trouble, and by the time his lifespan ends his cultivation would likely be nothing to me. In his eyes I am too ordinary, and he shielded me before only by instinct. His own master once shielded him when he was weak, so why chase a mediocre man to hand in the seat? I draw a breath and say it still will not do. That for the sake of our years together in the Medicine Valley he should spare me. I truly want no trouble and only to plant herbs in peace. He frowns, for none ever dared refuse him, still less twice. I go on that I heard from the vice sect leader he cares only to cultivate day to day, so he wants the seat passed to me only to have me do his work. Then I offer a thought. Set a rank above the elders, 3 men only, chosen from the elder hall, to decide all matters great and small, and to take orders from the sect leader alone. Swear the sect leader may only be chosen from these 3, so the elder hall will not object. His brows unknit, and he gives me a long look, does not answer, and turns his gaze to Ho. What is your name? And your tie to Chu Changji, he asks. Ho cups his fists and says his name is Ho, 16 in the Taeon sect over 3 years, and Chu Cheng is his master. A clever boy, naming his entry and his age on purpose, showing his aptitude and yet marking his tie to Chu Changji shallow. I think, relieved, that if Yo Baiqian means to kill him, he must not blame me for what follows. However I turn it, Yeo Baiqian is no fit sect leader, yet Chu Changji is fouler still. And Ho, I say, seeming to recall it, are you that heavenly spiritual root? The peerless genius the elder hall took the moment he entered. He nods, neither humble nor proud, and looks calm at Yeo Baiqian asks, would you be willing? Willing, Ho says at once, but I cannot cast off my master, for few as our meetings were, we hold the name of master and disciple. When under the eaves one bows the head, in his heart he is wary of Yo Baiqian, whose sinister art is little apart from a demonic cultivator's. But he must live, and Chu Changyi is nothing to him, for he owns only one true master. Yeo Baiqian smiles, comes down the steps toward us, and says that from now Ho is his sole disciple, and that since Go-An will not, he will not force me. After this tribulation I may come to him for any need, and he will visit me often. His air is gentle now, no longer overbearing. An easy elder. A wave of his sleeve sweeps Ho and me up on his power, and when Ho opens his eyes we stand on a black cloud in the sky, Yo Baiqian before us. He erupts with a terrible aura that startles the thunderclouds, and turns every eye in the city below. He flicks his hand, and a burst of chi flies dozens of miles to kill a soul transformation demonic cultivator. Body and primordial spirit gone at once. The spirit-gathering divine finger, his makes far less commotion than mine, but its kill is no less. He rides the cloud into the city, one finger, one demon, unstoppable, and Ho gapes while I feel his aura still climbing. More and more mark him, the demonic cultivators in terror. The Taehyun side lifted, and word runs through the battlefields that Yo Baekjeon is resurrected and slaughtering at will. We stand behind him and watch him kill. After a time he tells me that since I will not be the next sect leader, I should not see what comes next. He sets me down along the way, and at dusk I land on the grass of the Third Medicine Valley with no sign of him or An-ho. Save Noe Jin, Yo Baekjeon met no other fusion realm cultivator, yet the strength he showed leaves me with a sense of crisis. For our tie is good now, but what if it broke? His killing intent runs far stronger than it did when he wore Old Man Cheon's face, and a man who can so hide his true nature is the most fearsome of all. I set to checking the herbs. Soon, Sim-jin lands beside me. Was the man who brought you back the former sect leader Yeo Baekhyun? She asks, keen, near excited. I nod and ask whether she is so very interested. Of course, she says. This is the lifelong enemy my father named. How did he resurrect? What did you see following him? And she draws out paper and brush. I roll my eyes. Big sister, could you fish for word a little quieter? You are bold, but I am not, and I have no wish to be taken for a traitor. I have long felt Sim-jin no simple fool, yet she has no cause to harm me. So there is only one read of it. Scheming. She likely only likes to see others squirm. She will not let up, pestering on, until I can bear it no more. Follow me again, I glare, and I will write the travels of the herb hero and make you the first woman the hero meets, with pictures more lifelike than yours. Her pretty face flames red at once, and she glares and stamps her foot in shame and flies off. I am stunned that she did not curse me. That look was not anger. I shake my head and laugh and go back to the herbs. The night is not quiet in the Taehan sect, and back at the Medicine Valley I feel powerful divine senses sweeping past now and then. The devilish and demonic chi thins, the sect near to winning. Under the moon, flecks of snow drifting, Lee Ah and I sit on the doorstep talking low of the sect's history, mostly him telling, me asking. At dawn his inner sect token calls all inner sect disciples back to the city, and he takes his leave. After he goes I ask Yang Na by voice whether, the war near done, she should not return too. When did I say I guard you only to the war's end, she sends, glancing at me. What do you mean? From now I stay at your side. This is Lee Haeondo's will. Truly, go ask him yourself. I am silent a moment, then ask whether his majesty is strong, wishing to know him through another's eyes. In cultivation, mediocre, she sends in imperial methods formidable indeed, her tone mocking, plainly full of complaints against him. Lee Haeondo would be the deathless emperor, yet the cultivation sects hold him down, and is their strongest not Yo Baekjeon. He poached Noshan, one of Yo Baekjeon's own, so the two will clash in time, the imperial Tao against the immortal Tao. On the surface he sits at core formation, likely a guard against Yo Baekjeon. I mean to ask more when I feel something and say, guard the valley half a day more. I must go to the outer sect city. A fish has slipped the net from the demonic path nearby. As a rule, I keep clear of demonic cultivators, but one man is different. Seo Gyel. He led a demon host against Gi Soyu and won me above 50,000 years of lifespan, and he made a deep mark on me. Once out of the Medicine Valley, I fly toward the outer sect city. Then a long way on, I cast the great yin-yang transformation, turn to a demonic shadow. Then I melt into the forest on the infinite, traceless, mysterious heaven step, 200 miles off, deep in the trees. Seo Gyol sits in meditation, hair wild, black robe in tatters, wretched, small flags wound round him and a faint light screen at his guard. The myriad Yin Vice sect master coughs a mouthful of black blood that withers the grass, cursing the Gi clan. In fleeing Gijin, he ran into a siege of other Gi clan great cultivators and near lost his life. He is dreaming of trampling the Gi clan when a wind cuts from the deep wood and turns his head. His formation shatters, and a purple-black figure stands before him out of the air, a finger at his temple, a terrible aura pinning him still. Demonic shadow divine art, he gasps. Which expert of the Thousand Autumns Pavilion are you? Does the pavilion hold such a one? I ask you one thing, I say hoarse, and he breathes easier and bids me speak. He is Seo Rue's father, and Seo Rue died by my hand. Forget it, I say, and a sword chi bursts from my fingertip through his temple and ruins his primordial spirit. Before he falls, I cast the soul-snatching technique and cone his memory, for Gang Yong's spells are also useful. I hunt only for the demon army summoning arts, which happened yesterday and are easy to find. Then I withdraw my hand and he drops. 153 years of lifespan seized from Seo Gyol. A fine haul. He looks far more pleasing now, so I take his pouch, burn the corpse, and go. I go on to the outer sect city in truth. Outside its gates rises a new mountain, and looking close it is the corpse of a giant bird, the heaven-swallowing netherbird, thousands of feet high, larger than the peaks around it. It surely does not nest in the Taechang dynasty. The gates are strict now, searching every disciple. I find Yopran on patrol, and her icy face blooms as her men melt away, used to us. Just came to see you. Are you hurt? I ask. She shakes her head and pulls me aside. Yesterday, the Yellow Springs Demon Emperor struck within the city, ruptured its formation, drove it into a bitter fight, then swaggered off. A shadow left in every heart here. The cruelty of the cultivation world moves me anew, but the people I hold dear are all whole. Near the heaven-mending platform, more than half are gone. Most of the rest hurt. The Night Bloom Ghost Mother still sits there, blood on her, as if she truly fought for the Taehan sect, so she is not in league with the demonic path or the demon emperor. Then I call on Gang Yong, and behind a shut door I ask, "Did you not say this city would not be touched?" She sits gloomy, her chi and blood unsteady, plainly hurt. "The intelligence I had was false," she says. "The Thousand Autumns Pavilion already suspects me. Then throw off the dark and break with the pavilion for good," I say, delighted, for I hold too many spy names myself, and would gladly shed some. "Not so easy," she shakes her head. "And has Sword Venerable Budo shown?" I ask, keen to know who wears my name. "A fake," she says. "No Budo at all, but a demonic path spy who lurked in the Taehyon sect 100 years claiming the name. When the demonic path learned his true background, their wariness of Budo faded, and they launched the war. Chu Chong-yi has fled," she says, "and the dead Yeo Baekjeon has taken the seat again to purge the whole sect. I should come here less a while as she deals with the men above. Word came this morning that the Taehan sect will raise a venerable pavilion above the Elder Hall. Sword Venerable Budo one of them. 3 more chosen from the Elder Hall. They will reorder the sect and sweep out its rot." Yeo Baekjeon truly heeded my words. Good that he takes advice. I gave the counsel not only to manage him, but because I do hope the sect mends, and since he has no time to rule it, let others. She hands me a pouch of high-grade seeds, all 5th grade and above, bought with 80% of her savings, and bids me come again when they ripen, which means years apart. She walks a thin edge now, distrusted by the pavilion and watched by the sect, and I can only wish her luck and carry the pouch away in good spirits. The siege by 5 demonic sects runs through the cultivation world like a whirlwind, and shakes the whole Taechang dynasty. The sect's strength chills the demonic path, so that the world falls to an eerie calm. Back in his seat, Yeo Baekjeon sweeps through his reforms, raises the venerable pavilion, guts the Elder Hall's power, and hunts the demonic spies, cutting down above 1,000. With Chu Chong-gi gone, the Chu clan meets his frenzy, its men killed or imprisoned. Some young ones of better conduct have their cultivation crippled, are branded with curses and sent to the outer sect as utility disciples. So the Medicine Valley takes in a utility disciple surnamed Chu, one I know, Chu Jongpeng. When I first entered the Taeon sect and the greedy demon struck the Medicine Valley, the inner sect disciple Zhang Hyundan called in was Chu Jongpeng. He lost an arm for it and then helped me clear the evil cultivators around the valley. Now he sits across from me, one arm still, in rags, his hair a mess, his face all stubble, slovenly and sunk in gloom. "Brother Chu, so long as a man lives there is hope. I say gently, work well, and if you do, the men above will lift your punishment." Mu Sim has already quietly gone, so I run the Medicine Valley again and must raise new hands. I find Chu Jongpeng not bad, and if he does well I could even pass him Mu Sim's Tao evolution technique, which leans on hoarded power to break past limits and might save a cripple. He nods numb and says nothing, and I do not press him, and when he goes he even shuts the door, keeping low, though I see no respect in him. Only despair. How pitiful. I shake my head, take up brush and paper and write. Half a year has passed since the war, winter into spring into summer, and at 51 I carry more reflections on life to set into my book. Only at evening do I cross to the 3rd Medicine Valley by the array, where I feel Sim Jin in my room. Since I threatened half a year back to write her into a book we have not spoken, so surely she has not come to settle scores. A saintess must want some face. Upstairs I find her seated upright and veiled, doing nothing, watching me calm. Something is off. Before I can ask, she asks first, "Has the travels of the herb hero begun?" I near lose my composure and hurry to clear it. That of course not. I only meant to scare her and would write no such book. I must say so, lest she stain my innocence. She stares as if to see through me, but I stay calm, my conscience clear, and she says fine. Then she believes me, in a tone changed from before that I cannot fathom. I heat water and steep tea, and once the cup is before her, she says she came for another matter. "Speak," I say, "and sit." "It is rumored," she says, "that the old Medicine Valley man was the sect leader Yeo Baekjeon. Is it true?" I see nothing to hide there and nod. Come to think of it, since the war half a year past, neither Go Jong nor Ji Hanshin has come again. I wonder whether Yeo Baekjeon has dealt with them. Go Jong being plainly his faction, but Ji Hanshan who cursed him in this very valley and openly wanted the seat. "I would have you introduce me to sect leader Yeo," she says, in my own person, "not for the Cheondo sect." I frown and feign hesitation. She draws a red wooden box and names it a Tier 6 spirit tree, the Purple Mist Bamboo. One segment enough to raise a whole grove. Planted at the valley's edge, it forms a purple mist maze formation of itself. It shoots a top-tier herb worth a fortune. What is this? I say low. What is our tie? Is there need for this? I pocket the box and add, gravely, that as for her affairs, ask and I help, but this once only. She stares a beat, then bursts into a giggle behind her hand, and her eyes when she smiles are truly lovely. My little joke clears the awkward air, and the rest of our talk runs easy as ever, and after a long while she goes. I wander the valley for a place to plant the purple mist bamboo and settle on the southern hills, sending Dang Yu to guard it. Then I look forward to Yo Baiqian coming, not for Sim Jin but for his promise, that I might come to him for any need. I want no fourth valley yet, only high-tier seeds to slowly replace the low, for if 100-mile round grew high-tier herbs my lifespan take would leap. Once I reach 1,000,000 years and unlock the next function, I will lift myself whole. Days pass and in early autumn Yo Baiqian comes, in a black dragon robe, his hair under a jade crown, dignified, a wholly different man from Old Man Qian. All sect leader now. I probe him at once. Fusion Realm, 9th layer, 755 years against the ceiling of 3,200. So he truly reached the 9th of the Fusion Realm, his lifespan near its ceiling and hard now to lift. I wonder whether Chu Hyun's old sacrifice formation was meant for him, then dismiss it, since he wiped the Chu clan out. We talk indoors, and he sets 4 booklets on the table, the 4 of the venerable pavilion he raised on my council, for me to look. Each holds names, portraits, and full histories, and I flip through as if idly while memorizing all. The last is Sword Venerable Budo, only a name and a battle record, called the Flying Leaf Sword Immortal by the world and honored Sword Venerable Budo by the sect. Sword Venerable Budo, Go Gua, Ji Hyungsuk, Ju U, the 3 greatest clans of the Taechang dynasty, and everyone at the Fusion Realm. I have not met these 3. I have now seen 6 of the Fusion Realm, Yo Baiqian, Gi Hanshan, Go Gua, Gi Hyungsuk, Ju Yu, and Noe Jin. And this is not the sect's full might. I still recall that the strongest of the Taehyun sect is the head disciple, who long ago left the Taechang dynasty. And I wonder whether there are grand elders too. Sect leader, I ask, is it fit for me to see such a thing? If you write another book like Investiture of the Gods, he laughs, put the Taehyun sect in it, for the one in the Taehyun Immortal Venerable is childish and shallow. We shall see, I say. Let me finish the Taehyun Immortal Venerable first, which runs 5 million words at 1 volume a year, and will take an age. Its spirit stone income far outstrips Investiture of the Gods, so I will not drop it yet. He smiles and does not press. I raise Simjin's request, and he agrees at once. They may meet today. Sect leader, I ask, does what you said before still stand? Have you changed your mind? He squints. Pleased. Do you want the seat? No, I say quickly. You said I might come with any need, and I want more high-tier herbs. I will grow and send you these when they ripen, for I would know every rare flower and plant in the world to deepen my Tao of planting. His mouth twitches at the Tao of planting, and in the end, he agrees to send the seeds in a few days. Then I fetch Simjin to him and go downstairs, leaving them, and this time he lays a restriction, and I cannot listen. They talk an hour in part, and Simjin stands by me watching him go and asks, smiling, am I not curious what they spoke of? I dare not ask and do not want to know. I say, I fear trouble. I gave him some intelligence for the sect's strongest musical spell, she says, and once I master it I will show you, and she leaps up and flies for her immortal cave. Whatever she does is nothing to me so long as it does not threaten me. 5 days on Yo Baiqian's men bring a pouch of high-grade seeds in the hundreds of thousands, with a booklet and a letter. The seeds are his own private gift. The letter says, none of the sect's wealth, and if I grow them well I keep 0.5% of the profit. Grow them badly, and I must become his disciple. I sigh, helpless. Why is the man so set on taking me for a disciple? Could my charm have conquered him? 5 years slip by with no great matter. My days grown dull. Yopran and Simjin and Lia and Gangyong and Go Yu all busy cultivating and rarely by. My lifespan crosses 700,000 years, and 1,000,000 draws close, and I cannot wait to grow stronger. At noon, one day I reach the Medicine Valley and feel Lia's aura, and I find him at tea with Yang Na in the pavilion, his aura unhidden, so I walk straight in. Junior brother Gu, he says first, I mean to leave the Taeon sect for the Northern Sea Mountain Range, and I will not return until I reach Nascent Seoul. What place is that, I ask. The Northern Sea Mountain Range lies north of the Taechang dynasty, he says. Its land is vast as the whole dynasty, ringed by 4 dynasties. It is a gathering ground of the Yao race, a place to train and seek chances, and very dangerous. At once I feel it would suit my own next breakthrough, for crossing from the 9th of the Fusion Realm to a higher realm the stir would be past imagining. It is best far from the Taehan sect. You would not be hunting the Northern Sea Kun fish, Yang Na says. He scratches his head. You saw that. Rumor 2 years back put the coonfish in a range, and I want to see. It is a good chance to shed the men my imperial father set on me. What is the northern sea coonfish? I press. You recall the heaven-swallowing netherbird, Yang Na says. There are primordial remnant species in this world. Unlike the Yao race, they are of a size past imagining, far harder to take human form, revered in many lands as mountain gods or sea gods. Their whereabouts a mystery. I grow keener and ask what others there are, and she names a few and sets me longing. I should go. Lia stands. Of late a prodigy named In Ho rose in the sect, 22 and readying for core formation. Unbelievable. And I must cultivate harder and not become his stepping stone. And Ho's speed is truly fast, which shows Yo Beiqian prizes him and pours resources in. Lia leaps out the window and is gone, a habit he cannot break. He has left. I ask Yang Na, and you? I am not leaving, she says. Following you to plant flowers and grass is fun, better than all the killing. In the forest I lead her to sow, and burying soil I name the herbs. This is singing shy grass, I tell her, whose leaves curl and sing in the wind, and one must open them by hand lest its growth suffer. She crouches listening, eyes full of curiosity. When Lia left, she said she would stay and plant, and I thought it a jest, but she means it, joining the work and asking me questions. Humble. She warms into the Medicine Valley and speaks with the other disciples, and hoping to make her truly one of us, I teach her in earnest. I give her a garden to keep, to test whether besides guarding people she can guard a garden. She does not refuse, and anticipation lights her face. I return to find Chu Jung-pung at the fence, lost in thought, as he ever is, doing what I set him and dazing when I set nothing. For our old tie I decide to help him, and I clap his shoulder and say I have come by a sword art. Would he look it over for me? He nods flat and follows me into the empty woods. A sword cultivator once, crippled now but his memory whole. Though he speaks little, he is grateful to me. When he came wishing for a crack in the ground, I did not mock him but treated him well through all these years. Finding no use in himself, he still serves me and can only think me truly kind. Under his eyes I run the basic moves of the Tai Chang's startling divine sword, clumsy and rough, and still his eyes light. Valley Master, what sword is this? He asks, holding down his excitement. I do not know either, I scratch my head. A senior I met at the heaven-mending platform taught it, and said a man who masters it becomes a sword god of the human world. He starts to speak and stops. Do you want to learn? I smile. I will teach you, for one price, that you become the old Chu Jung-pung again, for I miss that high-spirited man. Cultivation gone or no, you can still practice the sword. Does the legend not tell of one who never drank qi his whole life and attained the Tao through the sword? So if others can, why not you? His face works and he struggles, and in the end he agrees. For who wishes to be broken? He only lost the meaning to go on. My words strike him, that cultivation gone he may yet practice the sword, and should a sword cultivator not face hardship head on. So Chu Jung-pung takes up the Tai Chang's startling divine sword, quick to hold the moves, which draws my praise and lifts his heart. Late one night, 10 miles from the Medicine Valley by the river, I shift the rubble, open a stone slab, slip in. It closes behind me as the rubble gathers of itself as if never touched. Down the tunnel to the 8 sceneries grotto heaven, a 50-foot black dragon rushes from the underground river to meet me. I set a demon sheep carcass down as ever, and the vast sky dragon breathes vast flame to roast it. In 2 or 3 years I will take you out, I say, rubbing its head, meaning to loose it at my next breakthrough to live in the northern sea mountain range. I once wished it to learn transformation, but found no such art, and taught it the demonic shadow divine art instead, which after years it is still not mastered. Hearing it may go out, the dragon drops the sheep and asks eager where. I sketch the northern sea mountain range and it longs the more, and I warn it never to betray my existence or the grotto heaven, and it swears it will not. In truth, it would not matter if it were seen, for by the time I return from the northern sea, I will have passed the fusion realm. Then were the whole 1,000 autumns pavilion to come, they could not take my azure vine tree. Cultivate well, I tease. Do not get eaten your first day out. How could a dragon be eaten by monsters? It says, head high, and I rub its head and walk to the azure vine tree, which I prize and study each visit lest anything go wrong. Watching its branches I frown, for one branch trembles, faint but real, and the dragon roasts sheep far off and did not do it. Could this tree be waking to a spirit? The more I think it, the likelier it seems. For it is the 1,000 Autumns Pavilion's holy tree and must be strange, so a spirit is not impossible. It stirs no more under my watch, as if I imagined it, and my divine sense finds nothing, though it warns the tree not to play games. Over this I feel no worry, but rather some anticipation. 2 years turn and my lifespan reaches 950,000, sure to touch 1,000,000 by year's end, which fills me the whole year through. Yop Ran comes and we stand at the window over the busy disciples while she tells the cultivation world's news. A new sect has risen, the Nightbloom sect, its seat unknown, which keeps raiding the demonic path sects for techniques and treasures, drowning the demonic path in blood, while the righteous path goes untouched. Some say the Taeon sect backs it, for it holds a great demonic cultivator who kills with leaves, the very image of Sword Venerable Budo. I am sour to hear it. Why does someone wear my name again? So much said. I smile, and not one word aimed at the Taeon sect. So our sect has built an absolute prestige. I am truly glad, for the calmer the sect the better, since I grow strong by planting flowers, and 50 years more of it should leave none in the 9 dynasties stronger than me. There is one, Yopran thinks. A cultivator calls himself the Ghost Thief, both righteous and evil, who robs the rich to help the poor, and whose name is swelled. Half a year past, he swore to come and steal the Hyuncheon tree, saying the Taehyun sect hoards 9 parts in 10 of the dynasty's resources against the heavenly Tao. He would plant it at the edge of Cheonjae, the Hyuncheon tree. My brow knots at once, for that is the 7th tier tree the sect gave me, grown now, and I will not have it stolen. The ghost thief has a road to death. Still, his deeds fit the chivalrous way, so I will not kill him, only frag him off for good. Is he strong, I ask? He must be. She rolls her eyes. Or how would he have offended so many, stolen so much, and still be alive? True, why ask her who does not even know the realm above soul transformation? I ask after her cultivation instead and whether she keeps at it, for partings come in the end and I would have ours late. She lectures me back, wishing me long life and diligence, and we bicker a while. Then she asks whether I know the current emperor. Why ask, I say. He set up the spring festival, she says grave, and from this year it covers every province. Its rites the very same as your spring festival. I heard it from some unknown old man. I say light, and it has run so many years that many know it, and its meaning is fine. She grants it, but warns that the men above have ordered more intelligence gathered on the Emperor Lee Hyeondo and sent more disciples to Changju, so the higher-ups have thoughts about the throne. Will the sect seize it, I ask. No, she says, but the crown prince is a disciple of ours. 100 years the crown prince, so the sect must help him. I glance at the woods 100 feet off where Yang Na waters the flowers, wondering if she listens. We talk on, and Yopran shuts the window and would say something more and even reaches to touch me, and I scold her hard. She glares in shame and goes, and I watch her off, my mind drifting to the Northern Sea mountain range. I must find a map at the library hall and ready the breakthrough. What realm lies above the fusion? Downstairs, about to make for the array, Yang Na stops me and sends, "Be careful of the crown prince, for if he learns your tie to Lia, he will come to scheme against you." Is the crown prince not very virtuous? I send, puzzled. Senior brother Lee speaks so well of him. That is Lia being a fool, she snorts. For the crown prince has sent many secret men to kill him these years, and I blocked one myself. Then why not tell senior brother Lee to take care, I ask. It is his father's will, she says, who fears alerting the foe, for once the mask tears the crown prince will force the palace. His father's cultivation is poor and no match for him, and should the crown prince take the throne, it will only be worse for Lia. It makes me want to laugh. Lee Hyeondo, near the crossing the void realm, no match for the crown prince. So the emperor is a kindred spirit of mine, hiding his cultivation to this day, and I know his truth only by my golden finger. I understand. I send. I will beware the crown prince, and she nods and lets me pass. Behind me she shakes her head, wondering aloud why she has begun to truly care whether the boy is safe. At the 3rd Medicine Valley, I walk to the Hyuncheon tree, grown broad and thick-leaved, the white spirit rat napping in its shade. Since the tree gave shade, the fat rat rarely runs and sleeps the day under it. I do not mind but rather hope, since Yo Baecheon said the Hyuncheon tree not only lifts a place's chi, but sharpens the mind of one who sits beneath it. Will the rat enter the Tao in its dreams? Worth a test, and if it works I too will nap under the tree. I loose a gold-eating insect onto it and have Socheon lay 100 pounds of iron ore beneath it each month to feed the insect. Socheon's best trait is that he asks nothing and simply agrees. I look over the human face tree and the purple mist bamboo, all growing well, then walk my rounds. The 3rd valley grows many high herbs now, and when Yo Baecheon came last year I asked to raise the utility disciples and he agreed. They number 300 now, and still I feel it short, though to grow it more I must first prove the harvest. A month on, after the dawn drills, I spread the Northern Sea map on my table, drawn by a Taehyun great cultivator himself. A restriction is worked in, so that a cast of divine sense shows the very lay of the land, like the real sea maps of my last life. No wonder it cost 5 high-grade spirit stones. I sink into it, seeking a spot for the breakthrough, and at noon Yang Na sends that the crown prince has come. Then I must handle him myself, for she cannot show her face. I put the map away and go out, and a white-robed man walks up with a folding fan, graceful and smiling, a delicate scholar. I probe him. Nascent soul, 1st level, 189 years against a ceiling of 2,250. He runs no special art, his cultivation just as it seems, and an ascent soul under 200 is a genius. This is Li Day, the crown prince. He does not come to me but to Chu Jungpeng at the fence, greeting him warmly from afar, and Chu Jungpeng turns and frowns. The two trade words, Li Day hearty enough to draw every eye, mostly speaking of old days while Chu Jungpeng only echoes, tense. After a while, Li Tay comes to the pavilion and bows up to me, naming himself Li Tay of Changju and asking whether I am the Valley Master Goan. Greetings, Your Highness. I salute. I am Goan. Shall we talk upstairs? He smiles and climbs, and the utility disciples buzz that this is the Crown Prince himself. We talk a full hour, and when I see him down, his face is all smiles, and he even takes my hand, which leaves me awkward. Junior brother Gu, he says warm, you and I are old friends at first sight, and next time I return to the sect, I must find you to talk. I promise, and watch him fly off. We spoke of nothing weighty, and he seemed truly to come for friendship, even speaking of Li Ah with concern. But for Yang Na's warning, I would have thought us brothers, for he made no request and no move to recruit me. I feel a soul transformation cultivator hidden in the near hills. His guard. 10 miles out, the smile leaves Li Tay's face, and it goes grim, and a green-robed old man flies to his side to murmur that there is an ascent soul in the valley. I have felt it, Li Tay says cold. It is Yang Na, and father set Yang Na to guard him, so the tie is not simple. Go back and dig his background. What is he in the Taehan sect? When he names Young Na, his eyes fill with killing. If he has no backing, the old man asks, do we take him? Wait until I see the sect leader, Li Tay says. The sect leader's stance is everything, and if he backs me, then kill Li Ah and Goan to cut off father's eyes and pawns. Neither knows I hear every word, for before me a soul transformation cultivator is an ant by the road. Want to kill me? Interesting. I do not take it to heart, since were I to stand still and not lift a hand, Li Tay and his old man could never kill me. I go up, and soon Yang Na vaults through the window, her face dark, saying he must have sensed her, so his art has reached the transcendent. Have you a grudge, I ask? Nonsense, she says. My sister's death is tied to his mother. How could there not be? Does senior brother Li know? He does not. She says, for I only suspect and have no proof. And this one comes to the sect 9 times in 10 to bind himself to the venerable pavilion or the sect leader. Chu Chongji, who backed him, has fled, and he needs a new prop. Let him be, I say, and take out a book to read. Are you not afraid he will seize you to strike at Lia? She asks, surprised. What can I do, I say. I am no match for him, and his majesty set you to watch me, which I cannot refuse. If he means to kill me, I cannot stop it, so better to pretend nothing happened and enjoy my days. My ease makes her look at me with admiration. Do not fret, she says. If he truly moves on you, I will guard you, so long as you do not wander. I thank her, and say that at the foot of the Taehyun sect he should not dare be rash, and she nods and goes, hiding in the woods to practice. Her burden is not small. For all these years she has drilled only in the deep of night. I too would grow stronger, and I call up my panel and look at my lifespan and my mouth curves. Almost there. Within 7 days, Li Tay returns to see me, this time with many herb seeds, plainly it pains. Though I cannot say why he is so open-handed, I take them gladly and pour him wine, our talk easier than before. To the last he makes no move to recruit me, as if truly only building friendship. After he goes, Yang Na's eyes on me have changed. First time I have seen him so attentive to a soul, she says, complex. Who told me to be kind to others? I smile, though I am no fool, and guess it is Yo Beiqian's doing, only I do not know the whole. Li Tay came to the sect for a backer, would not court a noble family, and rules out the Gi clan first, so beyond that only Yeo Beiqian holds such sway. Yang Na too guesses a greater backer stands behind me, for not even Li Hiono could make the crown prince so attentive, and she burns to know who I am. Best not tell his majesty of this, I say in earnest, for you have followed me years and know my way, that I fight for nothing and least of all want the suspicion of others. She nods, and jokes that it seems Li Ah is not my fortune but I am his. A man like me tending so many herbs without grasping at power, she too would like were she a high one of the Taehan sect. I take the crown prince's pouch, draw out 100 5th grade seeds, and hand them to Yang Na, telling her to grow them with care. If she does well, I share a 10th after they ripen and give her more. Her face lights and she takes them at once, and I am gratified, for many fill the third valley yet only Yang Na truly loves the planting. So Qian leans to Yao beasts, the rest labor only for cultivation, so I hold Yang Na in higher hope. Summer turns to autumn, the colors covering the Medicine Valley and Chionai Valley and the third valley, the sect the lovelier for the leaves. Late in autumn, at Chionai Valley, wrapping the new harvest in spear-protecting paper, 3 prompts bloom. 52 years of lifespan seized from deerbone grass. My lifespan crosses 1 million years for the first time, unlocking the lifespan enemy prediction. Lifespan enemy prediction, once active, marks karma of itself, and when a being holds hostility toward my true self, a prompt appears, costing no lifespan, though probing that being still costs. I am stunned. Fine stuff. This can warn me of would-be foes and spare me risk, and I loose it at once, though no prompt comes yet, for perhaps it marks only for now. My mood soars, for the function pays back all these years of waiting, and with a million years hoarded I can break through at once. I speed my work, reap the ripe herbs of Chiane Valley, and move them to the storehouse, and find it already emptied, the herbs taken, and I think nothing of it, and leave. As I step out, No Sion walks up and says not to rush off, for today he has not yet taught me the Black Tortoise Raging Wave Palm. The spells he has tried on me number 8, and 2 years back he swore to grind one art alone. Unwilling to believe a man so dull, he would spend 50 years on it, since 50 years on one spell. Even a pig should have it. Not today, I say, next time, and push past him. He is stunned that I dared push him, and that it worked, and cries no, and presses my shoulder to hold me. I turn and say, I think I have mastered the Black Tortoise Raging Wave Palm. Would he see? Truly he lets go at once. Eager. Try it. I step to the open ground and strike my palm, and a wave of chi rolls from it and cuts wave lines in the air several yards long. I withdraw and say I did not lie. I drilled it in private. I have things to do. Teach me to be stronger next time, and I leap for the horizon. He does not stop me, only stands frowning, and after a long while mutters that there was no wind-up to trigger it and no chi trailing it. That is the state of a man who wields it as he pleases. Back through the valleys I gather every herb due. Tell Yang Nai I must report to the inner sect 2 days, which she does not doubt, and leave at dusk. I fly toward the outer sect city, loop a long way round, come back near the Medicine Valley, and deep in the night slip into the grotto heaven and bring the vast sky dragon out. It looks left and right, thrilled, and I carry it clear of the Tehan sect, and speed for the northern sea mountain range on the infinite traceless mysterious heaven step. It lies 300,000 miles off, and I run without stop. Near the range I set the dragon down. Master, goodbye, it says, and darts off glad, and I mask my face, change to black, and go on, meaning to break through deep within. The northern sea mountain range rings a sea that is truly a lake, only a lake as wide as an ocean, and walking the air I see it sparkle under the moon, mist rolling, boundless. On the way a fish above 1,000 feet long leaps from the lake and stretches in the air, a grand sight. The range holds Yao beasts and cultivators and ghosts, and I feel 2 nascent soulmen fighting and pass them by without a glance. Break through first, then the scenery. Where is Li Ai, I wonder, and cast my divine sense for a spot. Half an hour on I find a deep mountain with no man for 3,000 miles. Few even of Yao beasts, only ghosts drifting in a gloom thick with ghost chi. I raise the lifespan barrier and hide, then call up my panel. Lifespan 58 of 1 million in 2060. Supreme 5 elements heavenly spiritual root. Fusion realm 9th layer. Seeing the 7-figure lifespan fills me with accomplishment. I mean to feed 100,000 years each into my spiritual root, my Yang Wood primordial chaos art, and my mysterious yellow dragon chi art. Then lift my cultivation. I will spend less on spells and divine abilities since I rarely fight. First the spiritual root, 100,000 years, and whatever comes I stop there. I invest it and the prompts pour up, that I comprehend the nature of heaven and earth 1,000 years, 2,000, 7,000, my 5 elements perception rising. At 56,000 I grasp the true meaning of the heaven and earth 5 elements and my root is tempered. My face darkens though I was braced, for perhaps I should not have touched the root, the supreme 5 elements heavenly spiritual root being enough already. Yet spent is spent, and I must bear it, and tempering should at least strengthen my aptitude. The prompts run on, 70,000, 80,000, and there my root ushers in a transformation, heaven and earth chi wrapping me, a nirvana state. At 90,000 I achieve nirvana and my root fuses with body and soul into the 5 elements treasure body. At 100,000 it is tempered. Seeing the 5 elements treasure body lifts my spirit, for after all the labor a breakthrough at last. Then the underground chi riots, a terrible violent chi surging at me, a stir past even my break to the 9th of the fusion realm. Sorry, beings of the northern sea mountain range, I am about to startle you. I sink into the wondrous work of chi tempering my body, and across the range the living feel the chi sink, and in under 15 breaths even those at its edge feel the wrongness. Half an hour on I am wholly a 5 elements treasure body, my chi and blood and strength greater, my spiritual power quicker to form, my senses transformed. The 5 elements chi around me fuses into me, a wonderful feeling I press down to study later, for now I must burn more lifespan. The battle is not far, some 200 miles off, which for the fusion realm is very near. I stop pushing my breakthrough and wait for the two to draw away, lest they burst my lifespan barrier while I am mid-passage. It would be fine if the barrier could one day be upgraded. I do not panic, for if they truly broke in I could only grant them death, and reaching the fusion realm is no easy thing, so I hope they behave. They do not go to the worst, only fighting a while and then chasing each other off into the distance. Let us begin. 100,000 years first to steady my nerves, which should be enough to break through. I feed it in, and the prompts run, that I cultivate 500 years and hurl myself at the mystic heart realm on my innate earthly immortal technique. I cross the tribulation and fail the Azure Origin 5 Spirits tribulation. 1,500 years, and fail again. A tribulation every 1,000 years is bearable, which shows my margin is wide, and 100 tries should surely serve. The failures pile up, one on another, and before 50,000 years I bear it, but at 67,500 I grind my teeth on the 68th failure. Who could stand this? At last, at 82,500 years, I survive the Azure Origin 5 Spirits tribulation, and break into the first level of the Mystic Heart realm. I climb it level on level, until near 100,000 I hurl at the Mahayana realm and fail its tribulation, still preparing. When the last prompt falls, I let out a breath. The 9th level of the Mystic Heart realm, and the next great realm is Mahayana. Sure enough, the minor levels come easy and the tribulation is the wall, so terrible that one day I may fail hundreds or thousands of times. The earth's chi surges into me again, no greater a stir than before since it was but 100,000 years. I call up my panel and look at the 580,000 years left, and weigh whether to break another great realm or upgrade my divine abilities. The infinite, traceless, mysterious heaven step and the great yin-yang transformation must rise, to help me flee and hide my name, and beyond them 2 attack arts as well. Thinking of it, my lifespan feels short. Perhaps I should spend less on attack, since I do not fight across realms, and the spells I hold already count as profound within the 9 dynasties. Struggling over it, I set to lifting my cultivation, vast chi pouring in, my robe cracking as if to tear. As I sit in that pleasure, my heart itself changes, shining with golden light, golden blood flowing, and a rune surfaces on it, mysterious as some mark. It is the mystic heart rune, which can birth a man his own divine ability, though its gestation and its strength are unknown. The ability born turns on each man's life and gathered attainments so that no two are alike. I sink into the good fortune of it, and through the rune new ideas on my many Tao arts flood me. I begin to order all I have gathered, while my cultivation breaks level after level. Then I open my eyes to the sky above the forest, for a bolt of lightning has appeared there, not fallen from heaven but sprung from the air. It does not flash and die but hangs writhing like a struggling worm. What is that? My unease grows. The bolt splits into several, the space between them tears, and a black crack opens. A ragged figure leaps out, fair-skinned bare under the light. A woman by her shape, in strips of broken cloth that scarcely cover her, her robe plainly shattered not long past. I feel her aura and go cold, and probe her. Fusion Realm, 9th layer, 1,989 years against a ceiling of 3,700. An old monster near 2,000 years, the oldest I have seen, and at Fusion 9 a match for Yo Beichan. What is her background? She hangs in the air as the crack shrinks and vanishes with the lightning, draws blue Taoist robes from a storage ring to cover herself, and belts them. I set aside all thought of the offensive looking, wanting only to know her. A single hair of hers falls and turns to a white snake on her shoulder, and I probe it too. Fusion Realm, 8th layer, 4,678 years, against a ceiling of 8,300. A Yao pet at the Fusion Realm. Who is this woman? The snake flicks its tongue and speaks in a soft feminine voice that the chi here is so rich, so their ascension has succeeded, and the legend is no lie. Ascension. I am stunned, for those 2 words hold so much. She frowns and says softly that when they traveled before, that heavenly tribulation was so terrible it nearly scattered her to smoke. She fled toward the weakest of it, and so came to this world. The chi is indeed richer than their mortal world, though whether the ascension truly took they must walk to learn. The snake looks off and says the chi here sinks and a fusion realm demonic chi lies far off, so it is a true ascension. In 200 years across their mortal world, she was the only fusion realm of the Yao race, and there were fewer than 5 among humans. Only the fabled Great Heaven Spirit World could hold the fusion realm at every turn. The Great Heaven Spirit World. My curiosity swells. So these 2 came from a world weaker than this. This world's size no one knows. The 9 dynasties but a corner of the continent. The far side of the ocean a mystery. I do not take the fusion realm for the peak of this land, still less know how high its strongest realm climbs. Immortals and heavenly gods are only legend, ethereal, yet the cultivation world here is vast. Beyond marveling I breathe easier, for I had feared some great power had descended on the 9 dynasties, and against that the ninth of the mystic heart would not serve. These two ascended with no background here and will take time to fit into this world. They do not know a man sits below, and spreading their divine sense they find no human or Yao within 500 miles. They speak without guard, then fly south, where the human life queue is heaviest. The north too thick with demonic chi. Bad. I hope they do not go to the Tehan sect. By their words I suspect their ascension took because of my lifespan barrier, which turns aside a heavenly tribulation and so must weaken one. That is why their landing, after they tore the space, fell right on my head. Ascenders truly walk this world. Men who fought their way out of a whole world, ruthless things who will surely stay proud here. No, the ninth of the mystic heart is not stable, so I will hold off the divine ability and reach the Mahayana realm first. Whatever the means of a No Ryong and her snake, they cannot reach Mahayana in 100 years. I feed in 100,000 years, the old rule, and be generous. The prompts run 1,000 years and I hurl at the Mahayana realm and fail the mysterious yellow five gods tribulation 3,000 and fail again. A tribulation every 2,000 years now, which makes even me feel a little guilty. Hard as the Mahayana realm is, the Tehan sect has stood 1,000 years with no record of it in its library. I feed in another 100,000, for spent lifespan is only a number until it turns to cultivation. Failure on failure numbs me and raises my blood. For how should a mystic heart great cultivator be so easily angered? Yet I cannot rule my temper now. At last I see the word success, and let out a breath, a smile breaking. At 87,000 years I cross the mysterious yellow five gods tribulation into the first level of the Mahayana realm, and climb it to the eighth. 200,000 years for it, and a lingering fear, but it took. The cost after a one tribulation was not bad, which proves the tempering of my root and technique told. I recall that from the first of the fusion realm to the ninth cost 18,000 years in all, 3,000 a level past the fifth. The Mahayana realm is surely harder, and still it shortened, so the old gains were real and will follow me in the flesh. My confidence returns. Never mind the strongest of the continent or the vastness overseas. In the land of 9 dynasties alone I can walk sideways. Yo Baichion at Fusion 9 cows the whole Taichang demonic path. And Taichang is not the least of the 9, so even the other dynasty's strongest should be only Mystic Heart. The rising sun sweeps the northern sea and the peaks and brushes my forest, and at the 8th of the Mahayana realm my body drinks chi more slowly. So I wait for the passage to end. A whole night gone. The lifespan barrier drank above 20,000 years, which shows how great a stir I made. My next goal is 10 million years of lifespan, a number terrible to think on, yet I am full of fight. For an immortal cultivator's life is long, and I can take my time. I spread my divine sense to see how far it now reaches, and a vast sweep of mountain and river enters me. Demons and ghosts and cultivators, and ancient remnants huge as peaks. Then I catch an old face. Li Heyondo, crossing his tribulation in a valley, ringed by a formation and heaped spirit stones and bottles and jars, and my mouth twitches. No wonder his climb ran fast. Not talent alone, but a mad heap of resources, while I crossed my simulated tribulations on my body alone. It aches to compare, though I never truly crossed one and should be content. His passage looks stable. I look for Li Ah and catch him hidden in a cave, hurt again by his aura, the reckless boy, and I resolve to find him and guide him under another face. The old ancestor within him is no fine thing. I catch the vast sky dragon too, bullying a pack of small demons, grand and loud about being their king. At last my divine sense wraps the whole northern sea mountain range. Every corner mine to see, a feeling of looking down on all that thrills me. The fusion demons and cultivators are no more than common creatures in my eyes. The range is thick with hidden power, no fewer than 100 fusion auras, though those at the 9th are few. Fewer than a hand can count, no Ryong among them not yet gone. I savor the strength that is mine, and when my growth stops and my body ceases to drink chi, I drop the barrier and rise. I stretch the sun spilling through the leaves and feel reborn. No fame or fortune or feeling in the world matches the feeling of one's own strength. Li Ah walks from his cave, squinting at the sun, his chest wrapped in blood-patched white cloth. He calls a heavy sword from the air that lands in his hand and makes his arm shake with pain. He grins that he must hurry, little time left, to catch the Holy Land's recruiting of disciples the old ancestor spoke of. He takes up the Northern Sea heavy sword and walks to an open patch 50 feet across, ringed by forest. It is littered with rubble and leaves from the night stir, the torn clouds above shot with rainbow light. The sword is forged of nether iron, a Northern Sea rarity, 10,000 pounds alone and double with chi in it, and his hurt body can barely swing it without chi. A wind sweeps from the deep wood and he turns and lifts the sword, and is flung into the rock. Blood spat. One knee down as his wounds tear open and the white cloth reddens. Hand over the dragon elephant divine essence. A hoarse voice comes, and a black-robed demon walks out, a human body under a fox head, demonic chi round it, 5 claws on each hand like knives. The resentful poison fox king, Lia, grinds out. Struck by my fox poison and still standing, the fox king snarls. Have you swallowed the dragon elephant divine essence? Lia grips the hilt in both hands, panting, and cries in his heart for the old ancestor. The old ancestor wails that his soul power is not endless, that saving Lia these nights has near drained him dry. The two curse each other, Lia blaming the old ancestor for living in his body and devouring his chi, and turning his root to read as mixed. The Fox King steps in, killing intent locked on him, and then Lia's sight darkens and a purple-black figure stands before him. It is him, the very demonic cultivator who saved him from Elder Jin outside the Medicine Valley. The one the old ancestor named a user of the Thousand Autumns Pavilion's demonic shadow art. He is shocked to see him again. I look at the Fox King and read him only a match for the soul transformation realm, and to be safe I probe him, since it costs no lifespan. Soul transformation 4th layer, 1,409 years, against a ceiling of 3,400, an honest demon. He cannot see my depth and asks in fear who I am, and I raise a hand and point him away. I do not like killing men I have no grudge with, and drawing lifespan from herbs I would leave my own humanity some room. Else a taste for killing might breed a reckless, arrogant temper in great trouble. The Fox King's face works, and in the end he cups his fists, turns, and goes. Then a prompt blooms. The resentful poison Fox King has grown hostile towards you, hating you to the bone. Do you wish to probe him? Hating me to the bone already. Seeking his own death, I raise my hand and grip the air, and the terrible chi of the Mahayana realm bursts out, and the Fox King simply explodes, his primordial spirit to ash. No spell or ability used, only raw chi crushing him. And had he borne a storage pouch, I might have been gentler. A prompt gives me 190 years of lifespan, near my old guess that a kill yields a small part of a foe's remaining span. Lia is stunned on his knee, that a soul transformation demon king died so, crushed from afar with no move he could see. The old ancestor cries out in his heart, trembling, what realm is he? This time I hear the soul voice, for the Mahayana cannot yet read a man's thoughts. But the old ancestor speaks by soul power, and each word stirs a faint fluctuation no Mahayana sense can miss. I turn to Lia and he shrinks against the rock. The old ancestor says low that this man's realm may pass his own in life. A sorrow in it, sure they are both dead. Lia is wholly panicked, for the old ancestor was ever the strongest in his heart, the reason he dared be reckless, and with the old ancestor helpless he cannot but quail. I look at him near frightened to death and want to laugh, but fear to fright him truly dead. So I gather chi in my throat, change my voice and say I have saved him twice now. Does he think I mean to kill him? He eases, and my next word tightens him again, that if I meant to kill him the soul within him could not save him. He can see the soul in me. Li Ah is more alarmed by that than by any threat. I raise a hand and call the Northern Sea heavy sword to me, 10,000 pounds light as a feather in my grip though the wind of its coming shows its weight. His heart leaps to see me hold it, not knowing my aim. Kid, your sword work is too slow, I say in the weathered voice, and your growth does not please me. I will teach you a set of sword arts. How about it? And he is stunned. Pass him my sword. He gouts his ears, but I do not seem to jest. The old ancestor tells him not to doubt it, that at my cultivation nothing on him is worth my scheming, the Lee family included. It is likely some tie that inclines me to look after him. I point the Northern Sea heavy sword at him, and his heart near stops, a smothering weight on him. Before he can think, a sword intent bursts from the tip into his eyes and stiffens his whole body. Within his pupils a figure wields a sword, and the art is the Tei-Chang startling divine sword. I do not know how long passes, and when he wakes I am gone, only the heavy sword standing before him, unshaken by the autumn wind. The Tei-Chang startling divine sword, he murmurs, and something strikes him and his face changes, and he cries that this is the sword intent of Sword Venerable Budo. He stood at the heaven-mending platform once and never forgot the sword intent in the righteous path, the strongest sword cultivator he knows. Now he is wild with joy, fists clenched, that the man who saved him was Budo, no demonic cultivator at all. The depth of the Tei-Chang startling divine sword sets his blood boiling, a peerless legacy past even the dragon elephant divine essence. As I speed away, I catch the old ancestor's stunned murmur trailing after me, that no one in this age should know the Tei-Chang startling divine sword. In his own life, it had gone extinct, and the imperial ultimate sword technique was only an incomplete thing he had compiled from its remnants. The sword is the Lee family's own art, so this man may be the Lee family ancestor. Perhaps that is why he looks after them, the Lee family ancestor. I nearly laugh as the sound fades from my range. So my sword, evolved long ago from the Lee family 7 swords, is the very art their line lost, and the old soul in Li Ah takes me for their founder come again. Let him think it if it keeps the boy alive. I do not linger in the northern sea mountain range, but speed for the Taehyun sect. I mean to return in a month to lift a combat art, and in half a year to begin hoarding 10 million years of lifespan. I do not go straight to the Medicine Valley, but to the outer sect city, in fine spirits, to look about. At the heaven-mending platform, years on, cultivators still throng it, more than 5 of the crossing the void realm among them. The Nightbloom Ghost Mother 1. The great Wu sword maniac Han Myung is there still, and under him Jawa Rim's sword has crept forward a little, leaving him no hope. Ja Yiljeum has gone lost by Jawa Rim's telling, to investiture of the gods, sure he can wring his own sword Dao from the book. Master a glad voice calls, and Jin Gum comes up in law enforcement hall robes, comfortable at Yopran's side, her cultivation climbing steady. Master, have you heard? She says, worry on her face. Senior brother Suhan has joined the Nightbloom sect. Men choose their own roads and we cannot rule them, I say. Let him be. I counseled Suhan once and swore not to ruin his cultivation, and it served nothing, so I can only respect his choice. From now I will not trouble over him unless he is dying before my eyes. I do not know if I will see him again this life, she sighs. You little thing, I laugh, ruffling her hair, grown enough now to turn sentimental. We stand at the platform's edge a while before she goes to her patrol, and I watch her off, moved, for in 200 years I will not see this girl again. Even at the Mahayana realm I cannot yet change another's ceiling, nor do I mean to, for reincarnation is the way of all beings. To force a fate would only breed an obsession that would break me if it failed. All around me is but a fragment of a life to me, and I chase immortality, though I will not shun men, since only the traffic of people makes a life. I sweep the platform and go, and on the way to the alchemy hall I hear disciple after disciple speak of the Nightbloom sect. Its momentum swells, as if it would swallow the whole demonic path. I pay it little mind, for it cannot threaten the Taehan sect, and could it could not threaten me, and how to raise my valley's lifespan take weighs more. Mahayana or no, I will not go out and slaughter but hoard through herbs and keep low, for I am not sure I am invincible yet. Reason says I am far from it, since no Rion the Ascender proves this world is vast. An hour on, I call on Gangyong at the Grand Elder's mansion, and she waves the door shut, as I set my gathered herbs down. She does not count them but pushes them aside and says she is leaving. Where? I ask. The Taehyun sect's suspicion of me deepens. She says calm. A killing intent nears, so I mean to join the Nightbloom sect. The Nightbloom sect again. What is its root? I think a moment, then draw out azure vine fruits one by one and tell her to take them. You brat, she says with a wry smile. You kept none for yourself, for such fruit does not come quick, and my having so many shows I never eat them. My aptitude is plain, I say, and lifting my chi and blood would only draw eyes in trouble. Better to stay mediocre to the end. You are truly without desire, she laughs. You call your aptitude plain, yet is your grasp of the sword Dao not strong. But I do not like the sword and will not be a swordsman. I say for picture a foundation establishment swordsman with a peerless art. Would his days be easy? She grants it, for in the cultivation world cultivation is all, and she says a war between the Nightbloom sect and the Taeon sect is sure to come. Once she is rooted in the Nightbloom sect, she may come to fetch me. War again. Why is the Taeon sect so cursed with it? The Nightbloom sect is no simple thing, she says. Likely an outside power for half the Thousand Autumns Pavilion has gone over to it. Hidden as I am in the Taeon sect, they still reached me, their intelligence terrifying. Its hand is already in the Taehan sect. You did not name me, I ask. How could I? She rolls her eyes. At your cultivation they would not care if I did, and I smile, and the smile reads honest to her. She shakes her head, worrying how I will stand on my own hereafter. The new outer sect Grand Elder has cruel ways, she warns. Take care. The law enforcement hall probed you once, and leaning on your junior sister alone will not hold. So entering the grotto heaven look about you. Be careful and sell no more azure vine fruits. I will keep it in mind, I say, and after an incense stick I take my leave and speed for the Medicine Valley. Autumn gives way to winter, heavy snow over the Medicine Valley, and one day it takes a guest, whom I receive in the pavilion. The sect leader has bidden me look after you, says Yeo Song-han with a warm chuckle. So come to me for any outer sect trouble. He is the newly raised Grand Elder of the outer sect, white-haired but unlined, a great silly fellow when he laughs. Warm as he is with me, he is an Ascent Soul cultivator, and by Gang Yang's word a troublesome ruthless man. My thanks then, Elder Yeo. I smile and we trade cups and warm to each other until we are calling one another brother, and at noon I see him off. After he goes, Yang Na drifts to my side like a ghost and clicks her tongue that I grow more able by the day, to have even an Ascent Soul call me brother. You may call me Brother Gu too, I shrug. Looking for a beating, she glares, half drawing her sword. I cough and say I hear the Nightbloom sect's reach is growing, so guard the Medicine Valley well. and let no night bloom thief come stealing herbs. She nods slightly, and I turn and go, and I feel her watch me onto the array and mark a small change in her, a flicker I will remember. Late at night, snow deep over the northern sea forests, I sit at a cliff's edge, the lifespan barrier up, and feed 100,000 years into the infinite, traceless, mysterious heaven step. It rises into the boundless freedom step and at the peak mastery realm, and she surges down as I take it in, and half an hour on I hold it whole. The boundless freedom step can read a foe's line of attack, cross restrictions and formations, and tread on dharma images. Its use is without end, perfect for a fight or a flight. In another month I will lift the great yin-yang transformation, whose deeper demonic shadow art hides my name and suits my Tao well. I rise and fly for the Taihan sect, casting my divine sense for Li Ah on the way, and find him drilling a sword by a northern sea lake, hard at it. I wonder when he will master the Tai Chang startling divine sword. I begin to long for a duel between him and An Ho, both loosing the Tai Chang startling divine sword at once, and only to picture their shock as a delight. I look for the vast sky dragon and find it gone from the range entirely, driven off by the monsters perhaps, or eaten, which I cannot rule out. If so, it may blame its own luck. While the dark holds, I hurry home at speed. A new year comes with the spring festival, and Yeo Baekhyun brings his new disciple An Ho to the third Medicine Valley for it, and An Ho fetches An Sim from the outer sect. Grown, and Sim is graceful and fine, and beside An Ho they look a match made in heaven. The third valley with its 300 utility disciples is lively, and I mean to cross to the Medicine Valley by evening, not to slight one for the other. Yeo Baekhyun and I sit under the old tree with wine, talking the small doings of the third valley which he enjoys. For all his hundreds of years, he says, his easiest days were spent in this valley. Then give up the sect leader's seat and come back to a pastoral life, I jest. Easy with him now, my true prop still my own Mahayana cultivation. If you do not advance, you retreat, he laughs. For were I to abdicate, they would soon brand me a traitor and heap mud on me, even name me a demonic spy. The Yo and Go clans that back me would not allow it. In the Taihan sect, cultivation is all, and yet at times it is not. His tone runs deep, as if he hints at something. I turn the talk, that a Nightbloom sect has risen of late and he must have heard. He nods and pours my wine and says the Taihan sect has long known it. 200 years past the Nightbloom sect tried to worm into the Taichang dynasty and even held the royal family. He led the sect to break them in the northern sea and drive them off. Their return now is likely because they think the sect weakened after the Great War, he says. And it is true, for the sect cannot now stop them from swallowing the demonic path. Then what do we do, I ask. Let them grow. It is fine, he says calm. They have set spies in us, and we have eyes in them. Their branches many though their roots still hidden. Know yourself and your foe, and you never fall, so let us wait. All the more as I am readying to break through and challenge the heavens' mandate. This he calls fine, not even knowing the enemy's strength, so I judge he only feigns ease, holding off the Nightbloom sect until his own breakthrough is done. And speaking of them, he says, I mean to send 10 of the sect's most gifted young disciples to the Third Valley, to guard you and to temper their heart nature at your side. I am helpless, and ask what heart nature they could temper here, for I can guide them in nothing. You need not guide them, he shakes his head. Only let them fold into the life here, and let their hearts still, and that is enough. Of a sudden I wonder whether he has marked me for Sword Venerable Budo. Why else be so good to me and send me geniuses? As if under a pretext of heart nature he wishes Budo to give them some pointing. So I probe him, asking why not have Sword Venerable Budo teach them, since the world calls Budo the strongest. To be honest, he frowns. We have no clue who Budo is. Perhaps a hidden ascetic of whom the Taion sect has known its like. In 1,000 years and 1,000,000 disciples, some few win great chances and change their fate against heaven and will not show their faces. Or Budo may be one of the grand elders, he says, who are like dragons seen head but not tail, whose rare returns catch us unready. Thinking of the righteous path on the platform, it is very like a grand elder writing the sect's spirit. So there truly are grand elders. No wonder he is unruffled. And what eases me most is that he does not tie me to Budo, and on second thought I did overthink it. How old am I? How could I be Budo? And at most he might think me some tie of Budo's. My worry gone, I ask whether, his breakthrough won, he could sweep the Nightbloom sect away. Had they still the strength of 200 years past, he laughs. A breakthrough would let me sweep them alone. Kid, do you know my realm, he asks, chin lifted, all arrogance. Above soul transformation, I guess. He laughs aloud, drawing far eyes, and I watch him show off, quietly pleased. Above soul transformation is the void refinement realm, he says soft, and above it, the body integration realm, and I stand at the 9th of the body integration realm. As he says it, I feel his chi spread into a screen to bar any listening ear. I feign shock and murmur, The ninth of the body integration realm. How many years would that take? Ha, with your aptitude, he says, let alone the body integration realm, it is hard to say you reach the nascent soul this life, so become my disciple and my cultivation will be yours. I put on yearning and surprise, which gladdens him, for the lad is coming round. Forget it. I shake my head. Standing high is not always good, for like you there are times a man cannot help himself. How high is high enough, and is enjoying life not the greater thing which nearly makes him spit blood? He would speak, but recalling my old views on the outer sect and my counsel to him, his words stick. For did he not take to me for this very heart nature? A desireless go and as sect leader would be the sect's blessing, and unwilling now does not mean unwilling forever, and he is far yet from his lifespan's end, and so he talks himself round. Sect leader, I ask, what realm lies above the body integration realm, probing the sect's depth? Become my disciple and I will tell you. He snorts. Why must it be me, I ask? Have you not taken in Ho? Why not raise him to sect leader? His background is unknown and he apprenticed under Chu Chungi, he says. I took him for his talent, not my trust. Then do you trust me? Of course, he says. I have your background whole. You are a servant the Gi clan raised, with some tie to Li Hiondo and maybe to the Thousand Autumns Pavilion, yet plainly forced by it. You're tied to the pavilion through the old valley master. He wears the look of a man who has seen clean through me, and my shift of face feeds his need. I did not think you knew, I say nervous. I am indeed forced by it. Should I cut them off? No need, he waves. Keep it as it is, for a clean break only brings you trouble. I may even draw intelligence from you. The spies in the Taehyun sect are thick as stars, and of those I know and have not yet dealt with there are thousands. I hardly know how to weigh him and can only give a look of admiration, which makes him smugger, and he falls to telling of the spy chaos of years past. Each time such chaos came he would round the spies up, and on the face round them all. But in truth he keeps half, labels half his own inner rivals as demonic spies, and deals with them together. The surviving demonic spies he would promote so that they felt trusted and either turned to the light or grew reckless, readying themselves for his next stroke. We talk long, and I see he is teaching me how to handle the sect. Only at evening do I come alone to the Medicine Valley to dine with the disciples. At the height of the talk I name Yuk Gugap my head disciple, to manage all the valley's affairs, which leaves him baffled. Yang Na's brow furrows, and I read the change in her at once, for I never once dealt with Yuk Gugap before, and she knows it. My little test has struck home. She has begun to sense that I suspect her, and I feel her resolve harden towards some action of her own. I have no idea what Yang Na is thinking. I picked Yukuga because there was nobody else to pick, and as for Yang Na, in my reading, she has to leave sooner or later. I never once weighed her for the seat of first disciple. Late that night, once the banquet is broken up and everyone has gone to their rooms, I come quietly to the 8 Sceneries Grotto Heaven. I have been working through the myriad goo cultivation technique lately, and have gained a fair amount of insight from it. Under the azure vine tree I put out a thought, and a figure comes out of a cave mouth swift as a gust of wind, kicking grass clippings up along the way. It is Mang Rang, who was turned into a goo corpse. I work him with my divine sense and set him to picking a mature medicinal herb. After he picks it I wait a good while, and no prompt comes to tell me the lifespan extraction succeeded. The plan has failed, and it seems I will go on doing this by hand. There is regret in that and no disappointment. With the harvests from the 3rd Medicine Valley and Shione Valley both come up, my lifespan income runs to at least 100,000 years a year and is still climbing. In under a century I will stand at 10 million years. For an ordinary cultivator, how many realms can 100 years buy? I am satisfied enough. I send Mang Rang back into his cave, take out the heavenly constellation sword, and set to the wood spirit sword technique. Early the next morning I come down from the pavilion and lead the disciples through their exercises. And Yang Na joins in, and the moment they finish she hurries off into the mountain forest. Her expression is wrong, unusual for her, so I watch a while and catch her sowing seeds among the trees, and my brows twitch, because those seeds are not familiar. I am a Mahayana realm cultivator with a memory that keeps everything it sees, and one look tells me the seeds in her palm are of a species I have never met. I walk over and come up behind her and ask, curious, what she is planting, and I use the moment she stands to lay a lifespan probe on her palm. The reading names it a night bloom, 6th rank, and gives me nothing planted, 120 grown, 5,000 at the far end of what it can be. A 6th rank spiritual flower, and the name is Night Bloom of all things. It is hard not to set that beside the Night Bloom sect. She tells me she took the seeds from an enemy's storage pouch long ago and does not know their proper name. They have sat in her bag for decades, she says, and she only thought to plant them today. Is that so? I say, and let her watch me think about it. She reads my face and asks whether she is not allowed to plant them. Plant them, I say, smiling, and I do not tell her where her flower comes from. If Yang Na wants to put a 6th-rank spiritual flower in my ground, who am I to refuse? I am the one who will be harvesting it. I give her a few words of encouragement and turn and go. She watches me leave and finds me harder to place by the day. She was bluffed by a foundation establishment boy, she thinks with some self-mockery, then squats to go on planting. Whatever I am guessing at, if she has the chance to put the night bloom in the ground, she will put it in the ground. She glances at my back and tells herself that once she has her merit, she will spare my life and put my name forward to the Nightbloom sect. After all these years together, she has come to like me, and it would be a waste for a junior like that to die in sect quarrels. Talent of that shape belongs somewhere it can go on shining. After the new spring, everything comes back to life, and the Taeyeon sect grows lively again. In early March, Simjin and I are in the pavilion arguing over books, when we both feel it at once and put down what we are holding. I cough and tell her to put those things away, and her cheeks color as she sweeps every sheet of drawing paper on the table into her storage pouch. Once it is all gone, we go downstairs, and out on the open ground in front of the pavilion, we watch cultivators come in low over the horizon. I know one of them, and her name is Gi So-yu. 11 in all, and I keep the lifespan probe running. Everyone but the man at the head is under 100 years old, the weakest of them at the 8th level of the Golden Core realm, and 2 already into the Nascent Soul. A Nascent Soul under 100 is terrifying aptitude, and the ceiling on these geniuses runs to 2,000 years at minimum. The man leading them is Yo Jin, at the 2nd level of the Crossing the Void realm. He lands, bows to me, and says the sect leader has sent these 10 here for mental cultivation and leaves them all to the Valley Master. He is very polite about it, with none of the heirs a Crossing the Void realm great cultivator is entitled to, which makes me curious about how Yeo Baicheon runs his house. Every one of the Yeo clan carries himself well. I return the salute and thank the senior for his trouble, and he smiles and nods and leaps away. I look at the 10 Taehan sect geniuses, and the 10 Taehan sect geniuses look right back. A man in green frowns and asks Miss Sim why she is here, plainly put out to find her standing behind me. His name is Yu Wu, 9th level of the Golden Core realm, and his lifespan ceiling reads 2,409 years. She ignores him entirely and tells me that since my Medicine Valley has guests, she will go, that we will spend time alone next time, and then she leaps up and is gone behind the mountains. Spend time alone. Every gaze on me turns strange, and something cold goes through Yu Wu's eyes. The panel tells me he has developed hostility toward me and wants to attack me, and asks whether I would like to cast a lifespan probe. Wants to attack me. And what level of grudge is that supposed to be? I speak up and say that Miss Sim and I only enjoy books and trade views on them now and then, that there is nothing else between us, that she has told me her standard for a Dao companion is Sword Venerable Budo. They are all young geniuses, and they laugh, and Yu Wu smiles awkwardly and throws me an apologetic look. None of them are stupid. Yeo Baicheon named me to lead them personally, so I must have something extraordinary about me, and even if I do not, I am Yeo Baicheon's man, and they do not dare give offense. The Taehan sect favors geniuses, and being a genius has never meant doing as you please, because at the very least, if Yo Baekchan decides to discipline one of them, their families have to weigh what that costs. Ji So-yu asks what we should do and tells me to give my orders, and at that the others put their smiles away and look at me expectantly. The sect leader said they were coming here to cultivate their minds, so they have assumed cultivating their minds will help their cultivation. Then follow me, I say, smiling, and do not complain of tiredness or bitterness, and nobody is to stop halfway, because only losers give up halfway. That lands, and the geniuses go from expectant to hungry, and the looks they trade with one another all but strike sparks. Geniuses are competitive to the bone. I take them to a mountain forest dozens of miles off, and set them to reclaiming wasteland, then teach them to sow seed, then walk them round to inspect the medicinal herbs. It is drudgery, and the 10 of them are dead serious about it, not daring to miss so much as a stone along the way. It takes several days before one of them cracks. Chang Jiang stops and looks at me and asks in a deep voice whether I am playing with them, and whether cultivating the mind is nothing but working as medicine boys. The others look at me too, and even Ji So-yu frowns. I know perfectly well this arrangement is nonsense, and Yo Baekcheon insisted on it. I sigh, take 10 books out of my storage pouch, and throw them over. They catch them delighted, and somebody reads the title aloud, the Sinju Sutra, and his eyes light, because that is not a name that looks simple. Figure it out yourselves, I say over my shoulder, and I turn and leave them flipping pages. Behind me, Yu Wu opens to the first page and reads out that the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal name. My back is to them and the corners of my mouth are up. The Sinju Sutra is not the Tao Te Ching. It is a pile of famous lines from the old classics of my first life, stitched into one miscellaneous book, held together by nothing but the fact that it sounds convincing. I could not bring myself to set the Tao Te Ching down whole. What if somebody actually comprehended something out of it? Because that would be a disaster. Once they have the Senju Sutra, Gisoyu and the rest each find a place to sit and do not disturb one another, and the third medicine valley goes on undisturbed by them. 5 days on, Gisoyu closes the book and looks down at the utility disciples working below the mountain, thinks a moment, gets up and goes down to help. A genius on the opposite peak watches her do it, seems to arrive somewhere, and starts down as well. None of them can make sense of the Senju Sutra, and all of them agree it looks profound. They set it beside the work I gave them at the start and decide there may be insight to be had in the pastoral life. Another 10 days and every one of them has thrown himself into the chores of the Medicine Valley, working through the day, reading the Senju Sutra and the gaps, cultivating their chi at night. That satisfies me enormously. 10 top geniuses handpicked by Yeo Beichian, and aptitude aside, there is not one fool among them. Because once they believe a thing is the right thing to do, they can make up their minds and hold to it. Half a year goes by in a blink, and I turn 59. I am at Shione Valley that day, and I have just finished harvesting when I feel it. My expression changes and I throw the herbs at Sunday beside me and get out of the valley fast. That leaves Na-han and his two rather baffled, though they do not make much of it. Ever since he learned I had mastered the black tortoise raging wave palm, Nocion has stopped pestering me and has in fact stopped pestering anybody, shutting himself away to cultivate like a man possessed. His cultivation is climbing at speed, and at this rate he will condense an ascent soul within a few years. 100 miles out from Shione Valley I vanish. 3 steps span 10,000 miles to the Mystic Valley, and the teleportation array takes me to the third Medicine Valley, and coming off the array I walk fast toward the Hyeonchang tree. The Hyeonchang tree is still standing, and a man is standing in front of it, watching. I look from a distance and lay a probe on him. Zhongyang, Fusion Realm, 4th level, 860 years spent of 2,800, 3,100 at the ceiling. He runs some special technique and his surface cultivation shows only the 2nd level of the Nascent Soul, which makes me curious about what he is practicing. Because even a Mahayana realm divine sense can see that he is hiding and cannot see all the way through the hiding. I walk up to the tree and tell him I am Go-An, master of this Medicine Valley, and ask who your excellency might be. He is in a Taoist robe, sharp about the mouth and hollow in the cheek, with small eyes and a goat's beard growing beside his mouth. The whole of him looks like no good at first glance. He smiles and raises a hand and says he is an intersect disciple named Zhongyang. That he was passing and felt this tree was extraordinary. And could it be the legendary Hyeonchang tree? I step in, close my right hand on his wrist, put a little force behind it, no more than a foundation establishment realm has, smile and tell him it is indeed the Hyeonchang tree, and ask whether he wants it. He finds that privately funny, a mere foundation establishment realm laying hands on him. The Taeyeon sect really has nobody left, sending a foundation establishment realm out to plant the Hyeonchang tree, though it does make sense, since that way it draws no attention. He prepares to shake me off and puts the strength of the Nascent Soul into it, which he judges enough to make me look foolish. His expression changes, his eyes narrow, his brows come down. He begins to struggle in earnest. His face shifts again into surprise, and the surprise is replaced by terror. How is this possible? He stares, and his voice shakes, and he cannot believe what he is feeling. He has given it everything and he cannot get free of my hand. It is not only that he cannot get free, his power will not come out of him at all. Under ordinary circumstances, a Fusion Realm cultivator letting go would collapse this Medicine Valley on the spot. His strength and his spiritual chi cannot get out through his own physical body. Some force past imagining is pressing the whole of him flat, and he has never in his life felt so stifled. He is a cultivator in the Fusion Realm. He goes where he pleases in the land of 9 dynasties. Despair takes him, and he understands he is going over, and he does not want to die. He grits his teeth and begs the senior to spare him, with none of the backbone a Fusion Realm cultivator is supposed to have. I have already walled the space around us with my own spiritual chi, so no sound reaches the outside. I have a rough guess at what he is, so I do not kill him yet. Give me a reason not to kill you, I tell him. Up to that point, he has not developed hostility toward me, most likely because the wits have gone out of him. He says he is known as the Ghost Thief, and that he came to steal the Hyeonchang tree not for himself, but for the common people. Since I am an expert of the Taeyeon sect, he says I must understand how resources sit in the cultivation world. The Taeyeon sect holds far too many of them, while the spiritual chi among the common people runs thin, and a man without an illustrious family behind him simply cannot make a name. That at this rate the cultivation world will be nothing but noble clans. He talks fast, and by the end his eyes have even gone red. What realistic acting, I think. I approve of the Ghost Thief's ideas, since protecting the common people is genuinely chivalrous. You still cannot steal from me. You already know my strength, I tell him without expression. So I have to kill you to keep it from leaking. That frightens him almost out of his soul. His eyes dart, he lands on something, and he says in a hurry that he has a curse technique that will make him obey me completely, that he will be unable to disobey, that the moment he does he will meet misfortune and die on the spot. A chance, and he can trick me. The fear goes out of him, and excitement replaces it. The panel tells me Jong Young has developed hostility toward me and hates me to the bone, and asks whether I wish to probe him. I was just about to let you go, and now you have developed hostility toward me. Interesting. What kind of curse technique? I ask, interested now. He calls it the Heavenly Appraisal Curse, and says that as long as both parties finish the ritual and he swears his oath to me, it forms. Fine, I tell him. Then come with me and we will find somewhere deserted to set it. I pull him toward the distant teleportation array. He is still pinned under my spiritual chi and cannot move, and inside he is relaxing, because the other party seems genuinely to have believed him. Being dragged along, he turns it over. Who exactly is this, to suppress a fusion realm cultivator that easily? Could he already have reached the mystic heart realm? Could this be a retired grand elder of the Taehan sect? The further he takes it, the more shaken he gets, and he decides the sect must hear about this. So the two of us teleport to the Mystic Valley and out of it again. Along the way, a few disciples look at us curiously, and, seeing us chatting and laughing, look away just as quickly. Several dozen miles clear the valley, I make sure nobody is behind us and stop. We stand in the woods, and from beginning to end, he has never once shaken off the pressure of my spiritual chi. He smiles at me obsequiously and asks whether we can begin. I nod, and a smile comes onto my face as well. The instant he sees it, his expression breaks and instinct tells him he is in danger, and before he can take that any further, a powerful divine sense drives into his mind. Soul-snatching technique. In a dark hall, Jong Young kneels on one knee before a mysterious black shadow on the steps. A shadow wrapped in black chi so that no true shape shows through it. Your chi concealing technique is the strongest of ours, the shadow says in a cold male voice with nothing in it. So you go and test the depth of the Taehan sect. He hesitates and answers that Yo Baekjeon has taken the sect leader's seat again, and his cultivation has reached the 9th level of the fusion realm. He asks whether they really need to go at them head on. This is the order from the main branch, the shadow says. We must annex the Taechang dynasty before the demon calamity arrives, because the Taechang dynasty borders the sea and is vital to the sect's grand design. An order from the main branch, he says, surprised, and asks whether the main branch can finally spare the time to help them. Yes, the shadow tells him. The failure 200 years ago left the main branch deeply dissatisfied with us. Although we have already put people inside the Taechang dynasty, set beside what the other branches have done, we have disgraced the Nightbloom sect. Go first and find out what the Taehan sect actually stands on. Once the great cultivator of the mystic heart realm arrives from the main branch, we move on the Taehan sect. He agrees at once and with enthusiasm, because he takes it for a chance at real merit. The image breaks and my divine sense goes through the rest of him. This one is not the ghost thief at all. He borrowed the name so the Taehan sect would brace itself early and he could count how many experts they keep hidden. He avoided the Nightbloom sect's name because he was afraid of tipping the enemy off. Because failing as the ghost thief still leaves him alive. The ghost thief performs chivalrous acts, and the Taehan sect is a great sect of the righteous path and might not kill him for it. Without the lifespan probe, he might genuinely have fooled me. A long time passes inside him while half an hour passes in the woods. He drops in front of me with a thud, eyes rolled back, body gone stiff. Altogether dead, his primordial spirit shattered by my spiritual chi, so that his soul went before his body did. I take his storage pouch without expression and burn the corpse with spiritual chi fire. Killing him earns me 240 years of lifespan, and it does not improve my mood. There was no heavenly appraisal curse anywhere in his memory. What was in there instead was the record of his deeds, killing men for their treasures, slaughtering whole families, preying on female cultivators, refining souls into ghost artifacts. Genuinely wicked, it leaves me with a very poor impression of the Nightbloom sect. I had taken the quarrel between the Nightbloom sect and the Taehan sect for a normal sect dispute. Now I think that if the Nightbloom sect unifies the Taechang dynasty, life here only gets harder. There is darkness inside the Taehan sect too, and the fusion realm cultivators of the Taehan sect are not despicable in that particular way. Mystic heart realm then. I turn and go, and the autumn wind comes into the woods and scatters his ashes until there is nothing left of him in the air at all. I go first to the 8 Sceneries Grotto Heaven to go through his storage pouch, destroying anything suspicious, so the location cannot be given away, and keeping only the cultivation resources. A fusion realm great cultivator's pouch is a different order of thing. Countless magical artifacts, strange and bizarre, and a great many medicinal pills, plenty of them despicable in their own right. After an hour of it, I leave. Back at the Mystic Valley, I go to find Yang Na, and see how the Nightbloom flowers are coming along, and I find her sitting in meditation in the Nightbloom garden. She was busy cultivating earlier and was never drawn by Jong Yong or by me. In daily life, the Alchemy Hall and the Law Enforcement Hall and the Gi clan are forever sending people to find me, so she is used to it. The main reason, of course, is that his chi concealing technique was simply too strong. Why are you cultivating here, I ask, because I can see she is drawing on the spiritual chi of the nightbloom flowers, which is no good at all and works directly against their growth. She opens her eyes and says she was afraid of exposing her cultivation if she did it out in the valley. I pull her up and walk her toward my pavilion and tell her to cultivate in my room, since I set a restriction there not long ago, and the disciples cannot see in. She frowns, and she cannot refuse me outright, so she follows me back. Winter comes, and pure white snow covers the third Medicine Valley. I am reading in my room when Ji So-yu comes to call on me. I get the Taehan secret records out of sight in a hurry and stand to receive her. She closes the door, sets a restriction, and asks whether the Sinju Sutra came to me in a dream. She has been sitting with it for half a year and has arrived at a great deal. This is not a cultivation technique, I tell her sternly. It is a principle for living, and it steadies the mind, and only a calm mind lets a person cultivate well. Not from a dream then, she says. Naturally not, I say. I met an old senior in the outer sect years ago, and he gave it to me and said a great many messy things about the great Tao being simple. I have studied it often since, and my cultivation has not moved an inch, and my mind has grown steadily calmer and more open. Nothing troubles me now, and I will not fix myself on any one thing. She looks at me a long moment when I say that. The book is genuinely useful, she says. Her own mind has settled considerably since she arrived, and she no longer chases things that cannot be had yet. She wants to take it back to the Gi clan and asks whether I agree. She says that if I do, she will find a way to win me a 7th grade spiritual tree, since the Gi clan's foundation is no worse than the Taehan sect's. And if I do not agree, she will not press it, and she promises the Sinju Sutra will not leak. A 7th grade spiritual tree, so the Gi clan is that rich. I keep the surprise off my face and say that naturally I am willing, that Confucius in that book meant to carry his philosophy to the whole world, and how could I sit on it? The Sinju Sutra is a patchwork of Laozi and Confucius and Zhuangzi, and a dozen more sages of my old world. I marked their names in it as I went to build the image of them into something extraordinary. She smiles at that and settles in to discuss the book with me, and we talk a long while before she says goodbye. At the door she turns back, looks at me and says that now I hold a 3rd Medicine Valley that size my standing is different, that I have surely heard of the Nightbloom sect, and that if anyone from the Nightbloom sect tries to win me over, I am not to agree. Why, I ask. Because the Nightbloom sect is sinister and evil and is not of the righteous path, she says, and plotting with them rarely ends well. And besides that, the Gi clan and the Nightbloom sect are old enemies. The second reason is the real one, surely. I keep that to myself, and I can feel the weight the Nightbloom sect is putting on the Taehan sect. Because her saying this at all means she knows perfectly well how many have already been bought. I wait more than half a year and past my 60th birthday and the 7th rank spirit tree from the Gi clan still has not come. I believe Ji So-yu would not lie to me, so I put it down to the Gi clan's procedures being complicated and settle in to wait. In that one respect, they are worse than the Taehan sect, because the Hyunchung tree the Taehan sect promised me arrived very fast. The summer heat is brutal. I am sowing in the 3rd Medicine Valley while Go-yu beside me will not stop talking about Taehan Immortal Venerable. The story has reached its peak this year, with the protagonist Go-yu meeting the second male lead, Ju-dong, joining forces against the devil head tearing up the world, and it has countless readers by the throat. My own mood is good, because last night I spent 100,000 years of lifespan to push the great yin-yang transformation up into the 9 extreme yin-yang body. It keeps everything the old form had, the block against prying and against the deduction of karma. Adds the mystery of clones on top, 9 of them, which I can drive into a fight or send out on errands. I tested it as soon as I got back by having a clone pick medicinal herbs, and just as before, it extracted no lifespan at all. Feet on the ground then. While I bury seed, I turn over which combat method to improve next. I meant to improve 1 a month, and all year I have been feeling Fusion Realm great cultivators fighting in the Northern Sea mountain range, so I've kept putting the plan off. Go-yu finally has to ask whether I am listening at all. I do not look up. It is impossible for me to write the book to your ideas, I tell him, so wait and see. He asks in a low voice how much longer Taehan Immortal Venerable is going to run. Soon, I suppose. I say not many years left. He asks what I will write next. We shall see, I tell him, or perhaps I will not write any more. He tells me not to say that because my stopping would be a great loss to the cultivation world. Me stopping is a good thing, I say, so cultivators stop neglecting their cultivation to sneak books all day. He calls that nonsense and demands to know who reads every day, since I only write a few words a year and they only read in the gaps between cultivating. We bicker until he produces the latest Taehan secret records, at which point I am prepared to believe he has not been slacking. I put it away in my storage pouch and ask whether anything major has happened in the cultivation world lately. He privately despises me for that and then says there is. Actually, the demonic path and the Nightbloom sect have been fighting a great battle in the northern sea mountain range for over half a year. The Thousand Autumns Pavilion and the 10,000 Yin sect have been butchered by the Nightbloom sect and are all but disbanded. At this rate, the Nightbloom sect will unify the demonic path within 2 or 3 years. His tone climbs the moment the Nightbloom sect and the Taeon sect is inevitable, he says. That battle will unify the cultivation world of the Taechang dynasty, and the sect is not anxious in the slightest, so they must be confident.